And it is Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. Good evening. I'm Bill Anderson here in one of our Fox 29 control rooms. And as we get things started, you know the drill by now. We are live. We are keeping you informed on all the things that are taking place. And as you can see, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker is on the floor of Senate speaking right now about the Save America Act. It's the ongoing debate going on, 24 hours now that they have been debating this with no end in sight. As we get started, let's listen in a little bit.
No one is above the law. This president cannot take us to war without coming through this body. He is not able to do that unless this body supplicates itself before that man and surrenders its responsibilities. Today, I say no. Today, we will vote. And whatever the outcome of that vote, we will come back here again and again with a simple demand that the world's most deliberative body must deliberate, that the branch of government that was supposed to hold the executive to account demands some accountability, that the checks and balances designed by our founders should operate, and we should check and balance his power, that what the American people want and what the American people deserve is to have a Congress that functions, and that a president that seems so cocky and confident in his taking us to war should have to come before his body, that the members of his cabinet and sit here and justify both the provocation of why we went to war and what is the end game. Because it's clear to me now that we have seen this from Libya to Afghanistan. President after president taking us to war in the Middle East and leaving chaos, instability, and terrorism and subjugation behind. This is a moral test for this body. It's not just a vote. This is a moral moment. Where do you stand? It's not whether you stand left or stand right, stand Republican or stand Democrat. The question is, do you stand with the Constitution that you swore an oath to uphold? This vote may fail, but this failure is not final, because even after this vote, there are many of us in this body that will continue to fight to uphold the Constitution and make the United States Senate do its job. Business as usual is unacceptable. This fight will continue. I would like Mr. President, Mr. Presiding Officer, I note the absence of the quorum. I'd like to have a quorum call.
The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Also Brooks.
So they continue on, and what they're doing right now, as we dip away from it for a minute, is it's kind of a procedural discussion. We're listening in and out of some of the things that are taking place. So we will get the update on the specifics of what they are actually voting on right now. Actually, there is the leader, Schumer. Let's see if we can get a quick explanation.
Killed since the start of the Iran war. Another 200 have been injured. Thousands more across the Middle East have been killed or injured. We pray for all those killed and hurt. We pray for their families. Meanwhile, the Strait of Hormuz traffic has crawled to a halt. The price of Brent crude has risen to $110 a barrel. Americans are now paying an average of $3.80 or more at the pump. And when Donald Trump was asked last week if we were towards the beginning of this war or towards the end, he said both. He said both. Enough is enough. Trump's war in Iran is turning into a disaster, and there's no end in sight. We do not know Trump's goals. We do not know Trump's timeline. We do not know what victory even looks like in his eyes. Enough is enough. A few weeks ago, Senator Kaine, Senator Schiff, Senator Paul, and I brought a simple resolution to the floor. affirming that Donald Trump cannot send our service members into war without coming to Congress first. Republicans voted no. Today, we're pushing another War Powers resolution led by Senator Booker, and I want to thank him for his leadership. To my Republican colleagues, the American people are watching. They oppose this war.
So guys, we jumped right into the discussion as we came on Philadelphia Live on Fox Local, went right to the Senate floor, and there is, it's kind of the Senate floor, it's not open discussion, but they can obviously discuss any number of issues. So there is still the debate and discussion about the Save America Act. There also are some discussions about what's going on with the war in Iran and authorization for it and funding for it. There also is some discussion about DHS and TSA. So there's a lot of different topics that are being thrown into the discussion. And so we will keep you informed. But quickly, as we were starting off, and we went right to that because one of our local senators was speaking on it, a lot of things that we're going to get into over the next couple of hours. We've got a expected to be pretty heated council meeting that we will tell you a little bit about out in Darby in response to some of the safety concerns after a viral video of a crossing guard being punched, being assaulted. We also have some discussion about what's going on in Cuba and the unrest. We've got sports updates. We've got some video from the confirmation hearing earlier to replace Kristi Noem. A lot of breaking news. So let's get into it. We just showed you a little bit about what's going on with that hearing that is taking place out in Darby. But let's get to our Jen Lee, who is there and has been talking about this. So Jen, this hearing, at least in part, is in response to that viral video now of the crossing guard being assaulted and other violence concerns.
Yes, so what you just saw is the Darby Borough Council meeting that is underway right now. And I think that assault against the crossing guard is certainly top of mind for a lot of people in the community. You and I discussed it earlier, Bill. This video went viral on social media. A lot of people expressing their concern for this crossing guard who was punched in the face, video provided by Darby police. Let me flip this around so you can take a look. Now, this council meeting just started a couple minutes ago, and this is now the second person who has taken the podium during public comment. And really, this is an open floor for people to express any kind of questions, concerns they may have to the Borough Council. And seated all the way at the end to the right over there is the Chief of Police. And we also see two seats right next to him. To the left is the mayor. And then you can see the line of Borough staff as well as council members who are here. We also were notified by a community member that this would be a big turnout. A lot of community members have apparently expressed concern about public safety, and we were told that they would be showing up to, voice their concerns to elected leaders here tonight. So that is the meeting that is currently underway. We were told the last meeting from the borough solicitor lasted 2 to 3 hours. Not sure how long this meeting may take, but there is a full agenda. Let me try to point over. As soon as you walk in, you can see the agenda right there, a bunch of items for tonight. And yeah, we're going to be here throughout this meeting, and I'm sure you guys will be, showing the viewers a live look of this meeting in progress as well.
We absolutely will do that. Jen, and we'll be dipping in, as you pointed out, periodically throughout the evening. Perhaps try to keep us informed as to when it gets into that specific, some of those safety concerns or some of the issues that a lot of us are following up on, and we will come right to you if you let us know. Thank you very much, Jen Lee. And again, we just showed you that video. It has gone viral. It's up pretty much everywhere. It's on the Fox 29 social media. It's on my own individual @BillA_Fox29 social media platforms, and thousands of people are commenting on that individual who, as of this moment, still has not been arrested or even identified who assaulted that crossing guard. Don't know why. There were a lot of rumors floating around, or people on the scene who said it was simply because of a backup in traffic or not necessarily liking the fact that the person was not being allowed to go through, being stopped because of buses or what have you, but that's all speculation. That hearing is not. It is in response to some of the safety concerns in Darby, with a lot of people talking about that particular video. So we will get back and forth to that as it is expected to go on for the next couple hours. But first, let's find out what's going on. Taking a look outside, nice little sunset. It is the Philadelphia skyline, the water, everything looks beautiful. Kathy, that is what you and Sue and some others have called deceptively beautiful, because it looks great. It's a little cold.
It's very cold, but you know what, Bill, some of the best sunsets we get are during cold weather days, so I guess we can embrace that idea. We got to embrace something at this point. This is March, and anything goes. It's like a box of chocolates, right? From one day to the next, you never know what you're going to get. And the next couple of days are going to be changing big time. I mean, tomorrow's kind of like transition day, and then by the time spring begins on Friday, it's going to be really nice around here. So let's take a look back outside of that gorgeous skyline, and you can see, I mean, these brilliant colors, and we're going to see more of that over the next couple of days. It's only 37 right now in the city, and it is going to plunge tonight with clear skies. 32 in Erie, 34 in Pittsburgh. So you see, we're not alone in this. Detroit, Chicago, Columbus, and this chill goes all the way down in the mid-Atlantic, so it's everywhere. Overnight lows plunging into the 20s as if we haven't had enough. Average low 35 for this time of year. And during the day tomorrow, temperatures starting in the 20s and ending near 50, and that's why I'm calling this transition day, because it's close to average around 53 degrees, but not quite there. The better weather comes on Friday. So here's a look at our mild trend into the weekend. Average high around 54, tomorrow below average, Friday above average, Saturday and Sunday going even higher, and then Monday temperatures down again. So it's just more of this up and down pattern through the end of the month. And this is typical March weather. We're lucky it hasn't been windier and wetter, to tell you the truth. During the day on Friday, spring begins, and it feels like it. 61 in the city, Glassboro in the 60s, even the Poconos, where they're making snow at Blue Mountain, it will be around 50. So that's some good ski conditions, spring-like ski conditions, and it will be spring. Westchester near 60, even Reading at 61 degrees. So as we look at the travel weather from Boston to Philly to the mid-Atlantic, temperatures really decent for this time of year and plenty of sun. You see those showers through the Poconos and through Pittsburgh. That's what's going to come into our area, but not until Friday night. So any evening plans, yeah, there could be a few showers. If you don't bring the umbrella, don't worry about it unless you're dining outdoors. Meanwhile, another chance of rain as we go deeper into the weekend. Sunday evening to Sunday night, so Saturday and Sunday, dry. It would be later Sunday night into Monday morning, another round of showers. We do need the rain. Many areas across the Delaware Valley are abnormally dry or under a moderate drought. So believe it or not, even though we had all that snow, there wasn't that much of a water content, and we do need additional showers this spring. So 50s for Thursday, Friday 60s, the same on Saturday. Sunday, upper 60s, would not be surprised if some spots make it to 70, cooler Monday, cooler Tuesday, and Wednesday 52. What I love about this 10-day trend, Bill, is we can see pretty much to the end of the month, to Saturday the 28th of March, and see that big P? That's the Phil's home opener, 60 degrees. That is a nice day. So we're going to hope that this trend is going to stick. We're going to trust in the trend, because that would be a beauty, one of the nicest opening days in a while.
I like it. I'm going to trust the trend. They found a beautiful sunset over King of Prussia for us to take a look at.
Beautiful.
Just soak it all in. I think that we've gotten a little bit, like, it's been so hectic. I think that the extremes perhaps have played on our patience, because what we're into right now, we'll take it. Like, it's March.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to be stable, right? We don't want to be 83 2 days and then 32 the next day. I mean, it's just too crazy. You don't know, how to dress. I've got my big winter coat today. Not going to need that as we head into the weekend. So another wardrobe change. But the good thing about this weekend, Bill, it's going to be warm enough to get out. Get the kids out, go to the market, be outdoors, maybe clean up the yard a little bit. We haven't had that opportunity. Last week it was so warm, I think everybody was just shocked. It was 83 degrees. But at least this weekend it's going to feel more normal as far as a warm-up is concerned. You know, if you're typically in the 50s, you get in the 60s, not such a big deal. It's a better transition as we get closer into the spring season and then even closer to summer.
Yeah, you're talking about cleaning up the yard. You went too far. Like I was with you.
I know.
I was all on board. Now you're finding work for me to do. Like
I am.
I'm not there. Thank you very much, Kathy. We will check in with you in a little bit and throughout the evening. I feel like we're in a dysfunctional relationship with the weather lately. You know, it's extreme one way or the other. There's the promise of stability, and we just don't want to be hurt again. So we will continue to figure out what's going on with the weather. It looks like things are going to continue to get better. That hearing in Darby continues. People are stepping up, talking about their concerns on various topics, a lot of them related to safety in response to that assault on a crossing guard. Let's listen in.
For that commitment to the immigrant community, this is a citation for you as well. And to about 17, 18, 19 years ago, I was honored here by the mayor of Darby at that time. And I was probably one of the youngest immigrant kids that came. They recognized me. They treated me like family. At that time, Ms. Janet Davis was here. Today, we just want to recognize you for your service to the immigrant community. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. We'll now have NRO.
Thank you, Madam President. We're going to do our NROs. Ms. Bullock, would you like to do the first one here?
Is Mr. Ali Abdul present? Mr. Ali Abdul, are you present? Final call for Mr. Ali Abdul. To the next meeting.
Thank you, Councilman Bullock. Councilwoman Bullock. The next one is Mr. Kamara here. Can you come up to the podium, sir? Council, Mr. Kamara was at our committee meeting. He's opening the Villanova Tire Repair Shop, LLC. This is at 309B North McDade Boulevard. For those that may not know, this is next to the A+ on McDade Boulevard. The hours of his operation was Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. This is a tire repair shop with 2 employees. Council, we had discussed all the particulars with Mr. Kamara at our committee meeting. Is there any other question? If not, can we get a vote, a motion to approve? I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Can I get a roll call?
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Bullock?
Yes.
Councilor Williams, sorry.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Davis?
Nay.
Council Vice President Parks?
Yes.
Councilor Dr. Thompson?
No.
Councilor Stockton?
Nay.
And President Pratt?
No.
Motion carries 5-4.
Thank you, Mr. Kamara. Good luck with your tire business.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
That concludes my NRO report, Madam President.
Thank you. Engineers report, Ms. Mulvana.
Good evening. I think the winter's finally ended. We have a lot of work that will be starting hopefully this week if it will just get over 40 degrees in the morning. So these include the new Walnut Street and Greenway Avenue projects. The new Walnut Street includes storm sewer replacement, as well as the milling and resurfacing of the road. And Greenway is milling and resurfacing.
Listening in on a council meeting taking place in Darby, a lot of various topics, obviously. It is their standard council meeting, but a lot of people who signed up to speak are expected to address concerns about safety and specifically that situation that happened with the assault on a crossing guard. That has now gone viral video. Police are asking for your help in identifying the individual who was involved, and hopefully that identification will lead to arrest or at least the opportunity to talk to this person and try to figure out if there's any reasoning behind it or what have you. So that's a lot of what's expected to happen at that meeting, and we will continue to dip into it. Let's take a break. When we come back, there's also international unrest. A lot of things going on in Cuba, and we've got reporters who are in Miami. Our Amy Gallo is going to talk a little bit about how people are responding to this and what comes next. It's Philadelphia Live on Fox Local, and we'll be right back. .23, it's Philadelphia Live on Fox Local, also all streaming platforms. You can check us out. You can comment on social media. I'm at Bill A. Fox 29 on all platforms, as well as Bill Anderson on TV, on YouTube. You see the numbers right there. Give us a follow. We would certainly appreciate it, interact with you. And I'll tell you the question of the day in just a little bit, our social media question of the day. But we, along with keeping you up to speed with everything that's going on in Philadelphia, locally, nationally, internationally, we, as I said, try to take you around the globe and check in on things that are taking place. And there's a lot of unrest, to put it mildly, in Cuba. And our Amy Gallo is looking into this, but talking to people who have a connection here in Miami. Good evening.
Good evening, Bill. Yeah, I spent the morning over in Domino Park, which is in the heart of Little Havana, talking to people who fled from the communist regime in Cuba in search of a better life here. They tell me as they watch everything unfolding on the island, they are of course sad to see it, but also hopeful that things might soon be changing. Nearly every day, these men meet here at Domino Park in Little Havana. They talk about family, the economy, and politics, but this week, it's been all about the crisis in Cuba.
They're living like in the Stone Age, cave people. That's how they live. It's sad to see the people malnutrition, raggedy old clothes.
On Monday, a nationwide blackout left around 10 million people in the dark. Then there's the ongoing economic crisis, made even worse in recent months after President Trump threatened tariffs on any country that sends oil to Cuba. Now some Cubans are taking to the streets, some going as far as attacking a Communist Party headquarters.
The protesters are more brave today than before, but if you remember 4 years ago when they came out, they were brutally repressed.
But Cuban migrants here in Miami tell me this time feels different.
In all the years I've been here, I'm going on 47 years, I think this is the first time I've seen really good things happening for Cuba. You can tell it's a very precarious situation this time around. Now the system is going down, way down.
President Trump is also speaking out against Cuba's government and hinting at change.
Cuba right now is in very bad shape. They're talking to Marco, and we'll be doing something with Cuba very soon.
Words that bring the Cuban exile community in Miami hope.
I think this is the end for Cuba. I really think it's over. Either the communist leaders leave or what happened to Maduro will happen to them.
Yesterday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is the son of Cuban immigrants, also spoke out about what's happening on the island, saying he said it's time to get new people in charge of Havana. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has told lawmakers it does not have plans to invade Cuba. And all of this has people here locally that are from Cuba wondering what exactly is going to happen next. Bill?
Was there any kind of consensus, or do opinions vary? Are there people who were hopeful that things would change, the regime may change, or is it more of a kind of wait and see attitude?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think they're waiting and seeing, but they're hopeful that what will happen is a regime change. I actually had one gentleman I interviewed, Jose, that was in that package we aired. He told me that he thinks there should be a radical regime change. So he doesn't want something slow, a gradual change. He wants it to be quick, and he wants the island to be a new chapter. So he and others that want to go back are able to do so and feel okay doing it.
It's interesting. We'll continue to stay on it, and we will check in with you throughout the week. Amy Gallo, thank you very much there in Miami. As I say often, it is always interesting to hear the perspective of people who are not just giving you their impression based on media reports or based on things that they've heard or read. They're giving you the impression based on their lived experience, family members' perspective from there on the ground. I think it is always informative to get. Let's take a quick break, and then we will come back and continue on. So much going on, and we will bring it to you live in real time. It's Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. 7:30 on Fox Local. It's Philadelphia Live, and you're taking a look at the Senate floor, where discussion and debate on numerous topics continues. There was a lot of activity there today, things that we will get you caught up with, from a confirmation hearing for Senator Wayne Mullen to replace Kristi Noem at DHS. That went on, got a little spirited. We will play some of that for you. There, of course, is the ongoing extended debate on the SAVE Act, where it stands, whether or not there will be enough votes to pass that. There are international budget hearings and questions about DHS and TSA. There's a lot going on, and we will keep you informed and up to speed. But there also is a lot going on locally, a lot of things that are trending, things that our web team is constantly on, gets up on fox29.com, and Cam's trending topics breaks it all down for you. Hey, Cam.
Hey, so speaking of fox29.com, I was taking a look to see what you guys are looking at on our site right now, and I noticed that there's a spike for a particular story that occurred a few days ago, where this mom was unfortunately arrested and charged with child endangerment and other related charges after an incident happened in Walmart, where there were witnesses who noticed that she was with her children, and she was allegedly under the influence, dragging her child by their backpack across and dumped the child into the car. The child allegedly hit their head, and just the way that the whole thing unfolded, apparently the child was unconscious at the time when police arrived at the scene, and did get medical attention. We do not know the condition of the child right now, but the mother was arrested and taken into custody. So we have those details in that article on fox29.com. And another story that is not only trending on our website, but is trending nationally, a little bit of breaking news in the entertainment world. If you ever watched the TLC show 19 Kids and Counting, so unfortunately, former star Joseph Duggar, he is accused of child molestation, and he is facing a slew of charges in relation to an incident that occurred in 2020 during a Florida trip, where he allegedly molested a 9-year-old girl. And the story unfolds, and she says that they were sitting on this couch. He put a blanket over the two of them, and that is when this heinous act occurred, allegedly. So he is now facing extradition. He's going to be extradited to Bay County, Florida. And their family is not new to these types of incidences. Back in 2015, it was revealed that their eldest son, Josh Duggar, he had unfortunately molested some underage girls, including some of the sisters in the family, and he was also caught with some child pornography or we call it something else, but some really heinous files were found, and he is currently serving 12.5 years in prison for those acts. So we will see how this unfolds with Joseph Duggar, but we do have more information as far as what that 2020 incident, how that unfolded on fox29.com and on social media as well.
It's one of those things that obviously we'll read fox29.com, get all the information and break it down, but I feel like there are certain stories, Cam, where you just shake your head and go, what is going on?
Yes.
And this is one of them. So we will continue to wait and see as we get more information. Thank you very much.
Of course.
We will check in with you in a little bit. Cam was talking about the trending topics, the social media topics we have every night for your engagement and interaction. The social media question of the evening, it is always based on topics that are trending and information that is going on. And so I will ask the question of you. It is up on my page at Bill A. Fox29 on Instagram, TikTok, all social platforms. There is a billionaire who is in the process of recreating the Titanic. They're calling it Titanic 2. People are already apparently dropping $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to reserve their spot. It is supposed to have its maiden voyage in 2027, fairly early, so that's not that long until that happens. And so the question of the day is, would you go? Are you getting on the Titanic 2? We can go ahead and pull the camera out a little bit so we can ask here in the room. People are already commenting at Bill A. Fox 29, giving us their feelings on Instagram and TikTok. All right, so what do we got? We got Chris. Are you getting on Titanic too?
No,
That,
going right back down.
that's a no. Okay, Steve?
No.
That's a no. You getting on Titanic too?
You're calling it Titanic too, right?
It's called Titanic too. that's a lot of no's so far here. I honestly didn't understand the concept, which is why and that's a billionaire, and they just got a lot of money. But I just think the Titanic is famous for sinking, and you're recreating it. I don't get it. But head to Bill A. Fox 29 on Instagram, TikTok. Give me a follow and let me know what you think about that, because apparently people are already dropping their money so they can go ahead and get on it. And I'm a no, by the way. But for a lot of reasons. One, it's only famous because it's sunk. Two, it was a big deal then. But if you're building essentially a replica of a ship that would have been impressive then, now it's just a small ship with minimal amenities that you're going to go ahead and sail around through the cold. I don't get it. But I apparently am not the target audience. So let us know what you think. Some of the comments that are coming in already on social media. Dr. Timothy says, I'm not really interested to get on any boat right now. But I would consider it as long as they don't remove any of the extra lifeboats. Okay, so saw Titanic. One person says, just yes. Somebody else, Style PR Diva, says, why not? Okay. No. There's another one, that's iffy. I do like adult cruising though. A hard no, a heck no. So there's a lot of no's, a handful of yeses, and you can comment and let us know what you think. Continuing on with the topics at hand, we take a little inspirational water. What's going on? There also are a lot of things going on. So the Senate continues in session, talking about several different topics. The SAVE Act, what's going on in terms of DHS, TSA funding, and then closer to home, the bottom corner is the Darby City Council hearing that is taking place after the video has gone viral, an attack on a crossing guard. The community has come together because they say that they have some additional violence concerns. I don't know if we can quickly listen just a little bit, although I'm not sure. I don't see anybody at the podium, so let's listen in for just a second.
In a room and in a space that was so civically engaged. And the Vice President of the Association, Mr. Sandro Johnson, is here, and I do want to recognize his leadership and thank him for all the great things they do for our community. March 4th, I celebrated Read Across America Day with some young scholars. I taught them a book. I read a book to them called What If Everybody Did That? This was a book that teaches young people about accountability. Definitely is something that I think, it never goes out of style. And so I'm so glad that I had an opportunity to talk to our young people and teach our young people accountability at such an early age. Because here I am as a mayor in a council, in a local government, and I'm still struggling with, colleagues that don't know what accountability means. And so I take pride in the fact that I'm able to impact our youth and teach them how to take accountability at such an early age. Because if you don't learn it as a kid, you might end up, being an elected official and have no idea what it means to be accountable. And so I'm personally grateful to those young people for that lesson. I also had an opportunity to attend an event organized by an organization called Heritage and Hustle. And it's an event called Built by Philly. I sat on a panel with an impressive pool of young people, young professionals, where we shared our stories and our experiences. It was a great opportunity of networking, and I personally was so excited to see so many young Darby kids in that professional setting. And I continue to encourage our young professionals in Darby to seek professionally engage in spaces as such. Because I remember my times in college, I benefited so much from those kinds of engagements. And so I continue to ask our youth to seek those spaces and continue to do their community and their families' justices by being down there. A few other things going on there. I do want to take a minute to acknowledge. Okay. I'm sorry, while this loads up, I do want to take a moment to talk about our Councilwoman Tracy Williams, who today was I'm sorry, I had your thing from SEPTA up. I just wanted to show our residents because I'm so proud of you. Councilwoman Tracy Holmes Williams was acknowledged by SEPTA's leadership today for her dedication to the community and her years of service. And so I'm so proud of her and the great work that she does, not just with Darby, because obviously she's a champion in Darby. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's the author of the Darby School. She does legislative canvassing year-round outside of just campaigning time. Yes, she writes newsletters currently that our community benefit from. Our community has been very grateful for those. You want this one? No worries. And so I just wanted to give Councilwoman her flowers in this time. I'm sorry, Trey. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Okay, all right, that's fine, that's fine. No, I'll just bring it to me, I'll send it in, if it's not. No, go ahead, Prince understands it. Mark, can he help you? Sorry, that's my tech guy. No, this is important, I'm sorry,
Work. 7:42. It's Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. So we continue to dip in because it's a city council hearing there in Darby. There's a lot of discussion about what's going on, looking for that individual who assaulted the crossing guard. But people also can talk about other topics that are on their mind. So quite a few signed up to talk about the crossing guard. Those are the safety concerns that we continue to listen in for, trying to get some more information. So we will keep you informed with that. There is an interesting situation going on in Colorado. Now, initially, the direct impact on us is not clear, but there is an impact with farmers and others who, through their services and their products and their work, have an impact on us. So Amalia Roy is there looking into this. Tie this all together for us so we've got a better understanding.
Good evening, Bill. Yes, first over here in this region of the country, tens of millions of people rely on the Colorado River for drinking water, but then agriculture. Here in Arizona, they actually do a lot of agriculture, especially during the winter time. But the issue is that the rights to this water, it's 7 states, 30 tribal nations that have rights going back more than 100 years. But after decades of drought, these states are rarely getting that allotted amount. They've been working off of interim guidelines since 2007, a 2019 drought contingency plan. But all of that expires at the end of this year, and states can't agree on what comes next. Yuma, Arizona is known as the winter lettuce capital of the world. During the winter, 90% of all leafy vegetables grown in the U.S. come from this region.
And we quickly also pick up cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower, you know, the whole salad bar, if you will.
Arizona Farm Bureau President John Boltz says farmers here get almost all of their water from the Colorado River. But they could be facing some big cuts soon.
We do have groundwater available, but it's not of a good enough quality, and so we don't even use it for irrigation. We use Colorado River water, and it really makes the crop. We really can't get by without it.
Colorado River access is split between the upper basin, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico, and the lower basin, Arizona, Nevada, and California. Under the current guidelines, the upper basin states don't have to cut back on water usage when reservoir levels are low. And for now, they're refusing to accept any new cuts in a future agreement, saying they already conserve water during dry years.
The lower basin is saying, come on, you know that this system of administration is a, supremely overallocated system that doesn't really have reference to getting water into Lake Powell.
Arizona has agreed to the most restrictions over the years. In Yuma, Bolt says they're already doing all they can to conserve water.
We only give the crop exactly what it needs. We haven't irrigated this field in about 2 weeks.
Bolt says farmers can't plan their crops for next year until they know how much they'll be able to use from the Colorado River. But he's hopeful everything will get settled before the current agreement expires.
With the negotiations stalled, the Department of the Interior is taking over finding a new plan. They're the ones in charge of all the nation's reservoirs. The Interior Secretary, Doug Burgum, says that he's confident that they are going to find a fair compromise. They did release a report with a few options for a new plan earlier this year. In Phoenix, Amalia Roy, Fox 29 News.
Amalia, thank you very much. It sounds like we're in kind of a wait and see. Wait, see, and hope is the path that we're on right now. We will check back with you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And it's interesting when you have the stories from all over the country. Some of them we're just not as familiar with, and then you get the intricacies, which is why it's so cool to have people all over the area kind of involved and checking in and sharing those stories with us. We are going to take a break, and then we will be back. Going to find out what's going on with sports, with weather. There's a candidates forum that is going on that we're going to look in on. There's a city council hearing that we've already checked in on, and Senate is senating as they continue to have discussions about so many different topics. So we will bring it all to you. Just stay put. Philadelphia Live on Fox Local, looking at a lot of things that are going on. So we've got a couple of hearings that are taking place, the Senate floor, Darby Township, also a look there, Stadium Complex, because we're about to get into it and talk about sports. We also have gone back and forth in the control room about our social media question of the day. Are you going to book your trip on Titanic 2? People are putting their deposits down. I actually just found a picture, we'll show it to you in a little bit, that reinforces my no answer to this. I found a picture of when I was traveling at one of those movie studios and what have you, and they had the board from Titanic that confirms my belief that she could have just moved over and Jack could have lived. The movie would have had a whole different ending if she just moved over, but that's a discussion for another day. Right now, the topic is sports. Breland has stepped up to talk about the different things. I'm not going to ask you our social media question of the day. We will hold on to that for just a second. But we're getting into that time where the excitement for NCAA started. And we already kicked it off with a couple of exciting early games.
Yeah, absolutely. High University playing right now, going against Prairie View A&M. They are currently tied at 30, or very early into that second half. So keep an eye on the Mountain Hawks, but that is our first team from the local area that's in action. Penn men will play tomorrow. They'll be taking on Illinois down in Greenville, South Carolina. Meanwhile, the Villanova men's and women's, they both left today. The men going out to California, San Diego to be exact. They're going to take on Utah State on Friday. And the Nova women, they're going down to Louisiana, Baton Rouge to be exact. And that game will kick off. They play Texas Tech, and that is Friday as well.
So moving on, if an old quarterback can be a surprising development, then the Eagles surprised us today. So tell us about this backup quarterback.
I don't know if it's necessarily a surprise, but so Andy Dalton, he's 38 years old. This will be his 6th NFL team. Of course, he started his career in the NFL and played the bulk of his NFL career in Cincinnati. He was a second-round pick by the Bengals in 2011 and played 9 seasons there. Was famously part of the Hail Mary pass that sent the Buffalo Bills to the postseason for the first time in 17 seasons, 18 years. So that is always like a fun little Andy Dalton fact that I love. But yeah, this is very much a typical Howie move to have someone in there. This also, to me, some people don't agree with me on Twitter, but I very much think that this points to Tanner McKee being a very tradable prospect down the line here. And Tanner has proven himself as a very reliable backup. And, Howie's reputation of being a QB factory around here. Wouldn't surprise me if they move on. Also, that being said, Syracuse's Kyle McCord is still on the roster. He was there last year, was not ready, but I'm sure has gone through some development. And having a veteran guy like Andy Dalton back there who can still play, but also can be a really great mentor to a young quarterback and to Jalen Hurts as well. It very much seems as though Andy Dalton is either QB3 or QB2, depending on what they do with Tanner McKee.
Breland, social media wants to argue about points? Like, what? Who knew that the people on X would go there and argue?
But it was going to be crazy.
It's weird that they would take issue with that, though, because, I mean, Andy Dalton, it's not a big contract, but it's big money if he was coming here to be the third string quarterback. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
If they're going to pay him. It definitely seems to make Tanner McKee expendable.
Thank you very much. There are some reporters who, actually some national reporters, I'm not going to name their names, but who think this solidifies, this firmly cements Tanner McKee as QB2, and I don't really know how they are getting that because that doesn't really make much sense. Tanner has been a very tradable prospect for quite some time. There were rumblings about him potentially being moved last year. So, but they did not bring in that veteran arm. They brought in a kid from Syracuse that clearly needed some work, clearly needed some development, and that is not any slight on McCord. It's just his age and, his development process wasn't quite there yet. That being said, when you bring in a guy like Andy Dalton, you trade a 7th-round pick for him, as you mentioned, the money aspect of it, yeah, it absolutely appears as though Tanner McKee is going to be on the move, and it shouldn't surprise anyone. So for the people saying, and maybe he's not, who knows what Howie's doing, but it's just really surprising that one tweet that I saw from a national reporter says he firmly believes Tanner McKee will still be here. That's a little surprising to me because that move indicates the complete opposite to me.
To me as well. Now, I don't think either of us at this moment know all of the details of his contract. So maybe Andy
Correct.
Dalton could be waived, you know, with no financial implications. But a team that's trying to clear cap space to continue to make additional moves doesn't give a third string quarterback $4 million for no reason. That just would seem silly. And one that was not especially in demand. Like, it's not like you had to make that move now.
Right.
For a 38-year-old third string $4 million quarterback. That's
Unless you're planning on dealing a quarterback at the draft.
Or doing something. Yeah.
Correct.
All right, we will check in with you in just a little bit. Let us know if we hear anything else about the games that are going on tonight. We'll look for some of those updates.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Breland. Appreciate it. I mean, I am not the sports expert. That's why we have Breland and the sports department. That wouldn't make a lot of sense to me, to pay $4 million for a third string 38-year-old quarterback unless you were planning on having that person be your backup quarterback. Which means your current backup quarterback is likely to be traded. Let's take a quick break. Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. We'll be right back. Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. The Darby Town or City Council meeting has heated up. Let's get right to it.
You did the same thing. You did the same thing with all those people, and you're doing it to me too. Because we ran against you and had political differences, you've since took over my office. Can you stop doing that, please? I'm trying to talk. Be an adult, Lucille. Grow up. You need to grow up. You need to grow up. Are you kidding me? Let me finish my report. I will do that if you stop talking. Madam President, you're still talking. This is your mayor's report.
It's false.
Come
on, Joel. Let's stay focused.
Regardless, what you're doing is wrong. You kicked that gentleman off the board when his term wasn't over, all because he ran against you. You're now doing the same to me. Before I even got sworn in, you took over the mayor's office. You took over the same office that every single one of my predecessors has had before me. And you did that using our taxpayer dollars unequivocally. Unilaterally yourself, without a vote from council, you made I'll put it down. I need you to see me. You made a decision to take over the mayor's office without your colleagues on council approving that. And when you made those decisions, taxpayers had to pay for that. They paid to change those name tags and all those other things. You did that without consulting your colleagues on council. None of your colleagues agreed with that. And so when you did that, you ended up trying to bring a resolution to rectify it after I've already let you know what you did was illegal, was wrong, violation of the Pennsylvania Borough Code, violation of the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act. After I expressed all of those things to you, now you want to go ahead and try to rectify that. We brought that to council last month. And that last month's meeting, your colleagues decided they saw that that was wrong. And so they ended up voting not to table that. Since then, that has been tabled. I sent an official notice to you, Madam President, expressing that I don't want this to become a legal matter. I didn't want this in the media because, once again, it's going to make my community look bad. And when my community look bad, I look bad. When my council look bad, I look bad. I've expressed that plenty of times. But for some reason, it seems that I'm the adult. And it seems that I'm the only one being the adult who's compromising and who's thinking, let me compromise and let me find a way to rectify this or to handle this behind closed doors so my community is not looked at in the wrong light. Why am I, the 28-year-old young man, doing this when I'm on a council with people that are old enough to be my grandparent, Madam President? This isn't okay. I can't be the only one compromising. When you took over the mayor's office, I compromised once again and said, okay, if you want the mayor's office, it's yours. You can have it. Mr. Pacenti and I, our bar manager, we came up with an agreement. He saw that I didn't want to be difficult. I said, just give me another space. Let me conduct the people's business. I had people reaching out to me. My email has been blowing up. My phone, everything has been blowing up. I even have college students contacting me for internships and for wanting a shadow. Where am I going to take them? You took the mayor's office. And then the alternative office that, because I want to compromise, the alternative office that Mr. Pacenti and I came up with, you stopped him from doing that too, from giving that to me. Because, once again, political retaliation. That is childish. I have been in student council my whole life, from kindergarten all the way to college. I was student government president at Mary Mother of Peace Elementary School, is now St. Barney's, and all the way to Bloomsburg University. I was student government president there. And all those years of me serving in those capacities as student leadership, student politics, when I tell you my student senate never acted this childish. And these were kids. I'm in a local government right now, and I feel like I'm dealing with kids that are more childish than I ever dealt with my whole life. That's not okay. That is not okay. I'm sorry. You're interrupting me, ma'am. I'm trying to get my thoughts across. I need you to stop that, please. You're interrupting me, please. That's not okay. Madam President, we got to find something. We got to find a way to work this thing out. This ain't working. Our community is not happy. Our people are not happy. This is not okay. This is not okay. That motion was tabled to table that office. We were supposed to, it was tabled because none of your colleagues on council knew about this stuff. You did it without their knowledge. And so we were supposed to talk about this when it was tabled at the committee meeting. But it ended up being canceled, unbeknownst to me, with no conversations. Why? Now, my speculation is because there was going to be a full house, just like it was at the last meeting. And the community came and expressed their displeasure. So what I'm saying is you're going to have to answer to the people eventually. You can't keep ducking them. You're going to have to answer. Residents have came here every single meeting asking you questions. You never answer the questions. I've asked you questions. You never answer the questions. Just this whole office situation. Mayor Brown sued the borough, sued council for this thing before. We've already went to court about council trying to target the mayor. The courts have already decided this. You are aware of this. Our solicitors are aware of this. We all know what you're doing is wrong, but you're still doing it. And I've given you ample opportunity to rectify that. I've talked to you about rectifying that. I've came to you and said, Madam President, you want that office, take it. Just give me the other one. Tell me why you need an office and the mayor don't. Every single mayor prior to me has. No council president prior to you has had an office. Every single mayor prior to me has had an office. So tell me now, is it not political retaliation? Every one of my colleagues prior to me has had one. None of yours has. Because me and you ran on opposing sides in the political spectrum, now you're making those decisions. That's retaliation. That's what we're talking about. And I've expressed that because this was a potential thing that could turn out legal. And I did not want our community to go to court for stuff like this, because you know what happens when we go to court? You got to pay for that. When I got to go to court with Madam President because what she's doing is wrong, you, the taxpayer, got to pay for that. You're already paying our solicitor. Then you got to go pay for a separate attorney for me because there's conflict in between us. The only reason I haven't taken that to court yet is because, the only reason I haven't done that yet is, once again, because I didn't want our community to, especially our taxpayer, I don't want them to have to suffer that burden.
It's already high.
I don't want them to have to suffer that burden. And so I continue to have conversations saying, how can we rectify this? How? There's got to be a way. I have people reaching out to me that's telling me they got confidential stuff they want to meet with me about. I'm telling residents, come meet me at my home. I'm telling residents, come meet me at the local coffee shop. Madam President, what is the problem? What are you going to do with that office? Every council prior to this had an office that they shared with, the whole council had one office, the mayor had an office. Why is this an issue? And then now I sent you an official notice letting you know, especially since your colleagues tabled this motion, can you vacate the mayor's office? Because you have no legal right to be in that space. Since then, you're still in there. And for whatever reason, it was decided by our solicitor and our bar manager that now nobody's just going to have an office until we decide that. That's like punishing everybody, and that's childish. We're government officials. We are government officials. What Madam President is doing is wrong. And so we have to be able to stand up to her and say, you know what, I get it. You want your stuff to go your way, but this isn't okay. We can't, so now I gotta suffer, and all our colleagues gotta suffer to not even have one office because Madam President doesn't want to vacate the office that she's illegally in. That's not okay, Madam President. All your colleagues on council are now suffering because of that. And then, should I decide to go ahead and file this lawsuit, I already made a promise to myself. I'm not going to use taxpayer dollars when I do file a lawsuit, should they have to resort to that. You're going to have to. You're costing our taxpayer money. Our taxes are already ridiculous. And now they gotta pay for you wanting to have an office. What are you doing in the office? Now they gotta pay for different events that we gotta go to, and now they gotta pay for it just doesn't make sense. Now they gotta pay for our legal fees. Just October alone, our legal fee for our solicitor was almost $15,000. What is happening in Darby? It was $14,500 and some change. We don't even have 14,000 residents in Darby. Why are we paying one person that much in 1 month? What is happening? What did we gain out of that? Nothing. Nothing at all, Madam President. And so at some point, because you know this bickering that you want to do with me, every time you have to consult with because you always consult with the solicitor regarding this, you do realize every time you consult with them, that's a bill. Every time you consult with them, we gotta pay. We as a community. And so at some point, if you really care about this community, you forego all of this nonsense and you focus on doing the work. Because if not, the next month we'll be paying another $14,000, $15,000 every single month. That's what's gonna keep happening. And that $14,000, $15,000 ain't for nothing else other than political work on our taxpayer dollars. That's all it is. And so,
So let's try to unpack this just a little bit. 8:10, Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. So this is the Darby Borough Council meeting. We were listening to this presumably because there was supposed to be ongoing discussion about public safety and about addressing some of the concerns after a crossing guard was attacked by somebody in the community. That video went viral. Several people signed up to talk about safety and some of the concerns. At one point, it veered off to the right and now has kind of turned into apparently an airing out of conflict between the newly sworn in mayor and the sitting council president. Issues like the council president allegedly claiming the mayor's office before he was sworn in and refusing to vacate it, and it turning into an ongoing lawsuit. Then there were discussions about retaliation and how it is costing the taxpayers money. That was what all of that was about. What it was not about so far has been a discussion about the violence that a lot of people wanted to address. But the way they got there is because they were discussing whether or not the violence was retaliation for something. And then apparently somebody said retaliation like the council president directed towards the mayor. And then they were off and running. So that's what was going on there. They've seemingly calmed down a little bit, backed away from it a little bit. And in both of their defense, we do not know the backstory of all of the tension between them. Our Jen Lee is there. Perhaps she will explore that a little bit more. The reason that we were there is because we were looking into what's going on with the violence and that assault on the crossing guard. We will get back to that because it certainly is informative and spirited. I just wanted to make sure you had the context about what was going on. Next up, as we take a break, a breath, and a pause away from that for a story of community service, public service, and some students who are doing some pretty cool things, making a difference. And our Dawn Timoney got a chance to sit down and talk to them. Hey, Dawn.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, we were at the Bryn Mawr Fire Company talking to some Villanova engineering students who are volunteer firefighters there. These kids were so impressive. There are actually about 10 students who attend Villanova University right now who volunteer with the Bryn Mawr Fire Company. We had a chance to talk to 4 of them who are all engineering majors, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and some of them had firefighting experience, had belonged to local fire companies before they came to college in their teenage years, and others had not. And it was so cool. If we can take a look at the video, as we were talking to these freshmen, sophomores, and juniors at Villanova, there was actually a fire call. So we got to see them in action. We got to see them suit up and the fire truck pull out of a station as they went on a call. And I asked them, you know, why they did it, how they balanced working, you know, demanding majors and volunteering. And they told me they just make it work, and it's something that they're really passionate about. And they plan to continue to do it even after they graduate.
I think what I like most is getting to learn something every time you show up. It's not the same. It's not reading the textbook and knowing where it's going to go. You're going to learn something, and you have absolutely no idea what it's going to be whenever you come here.
I think the most important part for me is like just the family in these firehouses. Even in South Blooming Grove, I had a great family of firefighters coming here, just building bonds with people and just, you know, doing it together. That's the biggest part about it.
I talked to the chief. He says this is the greatest group of human beings. He said at first he was a little skeptical about college students from Villanova being volunteer firefighters, and he is so for this. And Bill, you know, a lot of local fire departments deal with shortages and have all kinds of incentive programs to try to encourage people to become volunteer firefighters. And Villanova is so close to the Bryn Mawr Fire Company. It's just really a win-win situation. And these students tell me that they're also able to apply some of the stuff they're learning at school to their firefighting, and some of what they're learning as a volunteer firefighter to apply that in life, like teamwork and dedication and commitment and time management. I can't tell you how impressed I was. just really, really cool. And the young people I talked to were ages 19 to 21. So seeing them give back to their community is really great.
It's amazing. And I mean, you said that you were impressed. I didn't get to meet them, but I'm impressed by the concept. I mean, just people who are willing to make that type of sacrifice and commitment for community. I mean, and let's be honest, Dawn, like it is human nature to run away from danger and conflict. And at 19 years old, they are committing themselves to run into it in order to help other people. Like that's just impressive.
Right, and one of the young men we talked to, he was local, he was from Harleysville. We talked to a young lady from Virginia Beach. We talked to a young man from the Boston area. They're from all over the country. And I also think it's really cool, especially for the students who aren't local, that they came here and they wanted to be part of this community and wanted to give back to a community that's actually new to them. And they all did talk about family and the sense of belonging, and that was also very important to them.
So good for them. I look forward to seeing more of that story. We need more people like that to step up and have that commitment to community. So we will see you at 10 o'clock.
All right, see you then.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Dawn Timoney met some cool young people, students who are now volunteer firefighters serving their community. So a lot going on, guys. Where should we go? So there is ongoing discussion and debate on the Senate floor. That hearing continues. Darby City Council. We can show you very quickly. We can't unfortunately listen in, but we can show you a candidates forum that is taking place at Enon Baptist Church. The reason it is a 3rd District Candidates Forum, that is Senator Sharif Street. He is one of the candidates that is running to replace longtime Congressman Dwight Evans, who has decided not to run again. It is a candidates forum featuring candidates Dr. Ayla Stanford, Representative Chris Rabb, and Representative Morgan Cephas, Dr. Dave Oxman, and that is Senator Sharif Street. They are all speaking at Enon Baptist Church. The challenge is, and if you would, you can go to Enon, they have a stream up of it. The problem that we have, if full disclosure and being honest with you, is simply a fairness issue. It is, in our estimation, it is unfair to dip into a candidates forum for people who are running for office and not be able to determine whether or not we are providing fair and equal access to all of the candidates. So if we decide to listen in to Senator Sharif Street and then go to break, we have not given time to all of the candidates. But that is a shot showing you all of them there participating in this forum. There will be several more of them, and we actually will cover some of them. People are being given the opportunity to ask questions, meet their candidates in the 3rd Congressional District. That's taking place right now at Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church. We are going to take a break and get caught up. There's a lot going on. It went from relatively calm and expressing all of the information to a heated council hearing that now has things turned up a notch. We will get to it in just a second, so stay with us. Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. It's 8:20, and we continue to get you caught up on everything that's going on locally, nationally, and internationally. And it is an international topic that we turn to next. So we have gotten some updates about what's going on, this unrest in Cuba, but trying to get a better understanding of how it relates to here in the United States, Cuban Americans, people who perhaps are now living here. And our Amy Gallo is looking into that. And Amy, you got a chance to talk to a lot of people who have a lot of different stories to tell.
Yeah, Bill, I spent the morning talking to people in Little Havana about everything going on in Cuba. They tell me that right now they are feeling hopeful that change might be on the horizon. They have come from a regime that they escaped from, is what some said, trying to find a better life here, and they want to see that change. Nearly every day, these men meet here at Domino Park in Little Havana. They talk about family, the economy, and politics, but this week, it's been all about the crisis in Cuba.
They're living like in the Stone Age, cave people. That's how they live. It's sad to see the people malnutrition, raggedy old clothes.
On Monday, a nationwide blackout left around 10 million people in the dark. Then there's the ongoing economic crisis, made even worse in recent months after President Trump threatened tariffs on any country that sends oil to Cuba. Now some Cubans are taking to the streets, some going as far as attacking a Communist Party headquarters.
The protesters are more brave today than before, but if you remember 4 years ago, when they came out, they were brutally repressed.
But Cuban migrants here in Miami tell me this time feels different.
In all the years I've been here, I'm going on 47 years, I think this is the first time I've seen really good things happening for Cuba. You can tell it's a very precarious situation this time around. Now the system is going down, way down.
President Trump is also speaking out against Cuba's government and hinting at change.
Cuba right now is in very bad shape. They're talking to Marco, and we'll be doing something with Cuba very soon.
Words that bring the Cuban exile community in Miami hope.
I think this is the end for Cuba. I really think it's over. Either the communist leaders leave, or what happened to Maduro will happen to them.
Yesterday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is the son of Cuban immigrants, also spoke out about what's going on the island, saying it's time to get new people in charge in Havana. Meanwhile, the Pentagon told lawmakers it does not have plans to invade Cuba, leaving many Cuban Americans wondering what in the world is going to happen next on the island. Bill?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people now are in kind of the position of wait and see. But it is interesting to hear that that perspective. And when you talk to them, Amy, it sounds like you hear the passion of people who really want to see some change.
They are so passionate. A lot of them actually want to go back, but they haven't felt safe to do so or haven't felt it is right to go back. They have family there. They have friends there. They had a life there at one point, so they want the country to change and go in a direction where they feel more comfortable being able to go back one day. So, yeah, they are very passionate about it. They all had stories to share. They all left at different times. I met some people who left right after the regime change back in the 60s, some people left in the 70s, and some people who left a little I guess closer to what we are now in the 90s. They've all got a very similar experience and a lot to share.
All right. Thank you very much. We will check in with you again as we get more information. We appreciate it. Amy Gallo in Miami. Thank you very much. We continue on with a lot going on here. So we're going to check in on trending topics in just a minute. Is that heated city council meeting still going on? Guys, since we last checked in on the Darby City Council meeting, I'm not sure that a lot has gotten done because there's been a lot of back and forth. Doesn't sound like a lot about the kind of safety and the crossing guard. It sounds like a lot of conflict between the mayor and members of City Council. Let's listen in a little bit.
But when we brought this to you last time, our president decided, even though this wasn't paid for by taxpayers, our president decided to take it from you, the residents, because she didn't want you guys to know what was in here. She took it from every single one of you. And so, in short, what was in that resolution, I'll try to make it brief, But what was in that resolution was basically what she's already done, which is what I talked about earlier. What I talked about earlier was she unilaterally decided to take over the mayor's office because she has political differences with me. She did that without a vote of council. When she did that, I went to our bar manager and talked about it, told our bar manager, who authorized you to do this? He told me once again, it was council president. Council president recognized that was a violation of our Sunshine Act. I made that clear to all of them, to the solicitor, to the bar manager, and to our council president. So because they knew that was wrong and it was illegal, what they decided to do was to bring it to the committee to vote on it. But in essence, you already did it. You already break the law. So now you want to create a law to fix what you've already done, to cover up. That's not okay. And so when that was brought to the council last meeting, council knew it was wrong too. They all knew. They were all empowered. Remember, it's about empowering you, the residents. Our council, some of them are empowered. Not everybody, but some. So they decided to table it, which was the right thing to do. Some people were surprised that it was tabled because some people may think, oh, well, damn, how they tabled it? I thought they weren't allies of Jawar. This isn't about allies, about right, about politics, who you're with or not. This is about right and wrong. My colleagues on council decided to table that even though we have differences because they realized that was wrong. That's why they did it. And so when they tabled it, we were supposed to discuss, they tabled it so we can discuss this at a committee meeting, which conveniently our council president canceled when she recognized that it was going to be full because the community was pissed off and they wanted to come and get their voices heard. So if we don't have a committee meeting where community members and our colleagues on council can voice their opinions about the discrepancies that is in that resolution, why is the resolution even here? This resolution was tabled for a reason. Because we needed public input, because we needed input from our colleagues. That was never met. That requirement was never met. And so what I'm saying is we can't even vote on this because it wasn't never discussed. It was never discussed. And so once again, Madam President, what you're doing again is you're going to say you're going to violate our Sunshine Act again, and you're going to violate once again our Borough Code, and you're still going to get a vote on it. If you're comfortable with doing that, if your conscience serves you well, just know it's at the detriment of our taxpayers. Just know that. If you are comfortable making those decisions that's going to cost us $15,000 a month, you're comfortable doing that because of your political aspirations or whatever. If you're comfortable doing that, oh man, come on. Our residents are suffering, Madam President. Our residents are suffering.
Whoever votes
our residents are suffering.
I will file charges.
This resolution cost us $15,000. We need to remember that. That's taxpayer dollars.
Yes.
Taxpayer dollars is paying for her to fight against me politically. You want to fight me in politics? I'll beat you in the race already. It's over. Get over it.
Ms. Hill? Yes. Ms. Williams?
What are we voting on?
We're voting on the approval resolution.
We can't vote on approval if it wasn't discussed.
Ms. Williams?
I make a motion to table it.
A motion was made.
She can make a motion to table. Yes.
This is crazy. It's like nobody has a spine in here.
I just heard this is crazy in the background of the conversation. So to be perfectly honest with you, we're going to have to reach out to our Jen Lee, who is there, to find out what exactly is the motion that they are tabling at this moment. As they said that they're not comfortable having a vote on this. Community is fired up, members of council and the mayor are fired up, but we're going to get some answers, so stay with us. It's Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. We'll be right back. Like, what? Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. We were still trying to figure out what exactly is the vote that is being tabled. We're reaching out to our Jen Lee, who is there at that Darby City Council meeting. But let's get back to what's trending, what people are talking about. Cam, did you answer our question of the day about Titanic 2?
No.
So there is a billionaire who is rebuilding the Titanic, a replica of the Titanic. Titanic 2, people are putting down $2,000 and $3,000 deposits so that they can sail on it in early 2027. The look on your face is answering the question. So you're a no on Titanic 2?
No! Like, why are we doing this again? We saw how it went the first time.
It's a true story. I don't understand it, but people are apparently putting down their deposits. Like, that's a hard pass for me. But some
maybe
people
just
seem
to
think.
see it, but like, is this something that they're trying to make so people can go on and
Yes.
board? And
Yeah, it's taking its maiden voyage in 2027.
it's a hard no for me.
You're not in?
No.
Right. That's what most of our answers have been on social media. Hit me up at Bill A Fox 29. Yeah, it's a no for me. So far, it's a no for everybody in the control room, but we shall see. All right. More important issues people are searching. What are you looking at?
Yes, so since last night, honestly, a lot of people are searching for PHL airports. So the Philadelphia International Airport has now closed 3 of their terminal or TSA checkpoints at terminals A West, C, and F. And of course, we had our Shayna Ferreira out there earlier today, just checking out to see what the lines were talking about, and everything seems to be okay. I think people are just a little freaked out, like, oh, will I get to my flight on time with this TSA checkpoint being closed, or 3 of them. But of course, we know over this upcoming weekend, there's going to be like the NCAA championship and a lot of people coming into the area, so things might pick up a little bit, but we do have all the information on fox29.com and across the social media platforms where you guys can check out to see the latest on that. Another story that we have to get to, there's iPhone spyware that can infiltrate millions and millions of devices, and I'm talking roughly 220 million to 270 million iPhones. And Dark's World is what they are calling it. Dark's Word, I'm sorry. It's an iPhone spyware that's impacting all of these iPhones, and basically it's embedded in dozens of Ukrainian websites, and if you have your phone running on iOS versions 18.4 through 18.6.2, you may need to give your phone an update. And Apple they have something called patches, which is basically just updates that they make so that these spyware databases and sites, they are not able to, get and infiltrate into your phones. So everyone, if you're watching, if you're on the Fox Local app on your phone, no worries, you can still see us and hear us if you're going to do this. If you have an iPhone, I encourage you to go to your settings. You want to click on your face or your name, and then you go ahead and you click on your device, your iPhone, and it should show you, what version you're using. I'm using iOS 26.2, but if it says 18.4 or 18.6.2, highly encourage you to go ahead and update your software and your version on your phone so that way you're not impacted by this infiltration of this spyware called Dark's Word.
So mine says iOS 26.3.1.
Love.
So if you're at iOS 18, does that mean like you haven't updated your phone in like 5 years?
Yes, that's correct. But Apple did release those versions in between March and August of 2025. So pretty recently, honestly. And we have viewers all over the world. So we want to make sure that your devices are up to date. And Apple, they do. It's kind of like you feel like your phone starts breaking down if you don't update it. So if you are at iOS 18, I'm not sure how your phone is functioning right now, but it probably still is because 220 million of these devices can be impacted because of this iPhone spyware.
I feel like they update it automatically overnight when I'm asleep.
Yeah, you can actually put that as a setting, but you also don't have to because sometimes it takes up a lot of space depending on what the software update is. So you can either select to have it automatically update when your phone is like charging overnight, or you can manually do it.
I got it. All right, so Cam's a no on Titanic 2, and we need to remember to update our phones.
That's right.
To stay safe. Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill.
You take care. All right, so that contentious meeting is over, correct, Chris? All right, so what we are trying to do is reach out to our Jen Lee, who unfortunately sat through that whole meeting, and so now she is working on her story for the 10 o'clock news. We're trying to see if we can get Jen to jump on with us so we can get an update over what exactly was going on in that really contentious meeting. And so we will figure all of that out in just a second. Going to take a quick break, and then we will come back. It's Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. Stay tuned. 840, Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. So earlier today, there's a confirmation hearing going on. Senator Wayne Mullen, who is going through the process of being confirmed to replace Kristi Noem as Secretary of Department of Human Services. DHS, ICE, immigration, all of those things. He has been questioned. Now, it is likely just because of the sheer numbers that he gets confirmed. The Republicans have a majority. It is President Trump's pick, and Republicans essentially with that majority have the ability to confirm him. But he does have to go through a hearing and confirmation process, and that is what's taking place. What has begun to come out is there are several clips over the years of run-ins and confrontations that Senator Mullen has had with various people. Some of them were there today at the hearing, including Senator Rand Paul, who in this case happens to be chairing the committee that is conducting the hearing. So we're going to play for you the interaction between Senator Paul, Senator Mullen during this confirmation hearing. Now keep in mind, unfortunately, because it was a government feed, there are multiple people talking, but it's just a one shot of Senator Mullen. So you will hear Senator Paul. You will not see him, but that's who is doing a lot of the talking as they went back and forth as Senator Mullen attempts to get confirmed and is answering questions from his colleagues.
If you have time to listen, you were confronted by constituents that were angry because you voted against my amendment to stop all funding for refugee welfare programs. Instead of explaining your vote, to continue these welfare programs for refugees. You decided to transfer the blame. You told the media that I was a freaking snake and that you completely understood why I had been assaulted. I was shocked that you would justify and celebrate this violent assault that caused me so much pain and my family so much pain. I just wonder if someone who applauds violence against their political opponents is the right person to lead an agency that has struggled to accept limits to the proper use of force. You might argue you were mad and upset about being confronted by your constituents. But Senator Mullen, your constituents are justifiably upset with you. By now, most of America knows that the Somali welfare fraud in Minnesota stole over $9 billion. But instead of defending your vote, you took to continue the vote to continue these refugee welfare programs. You chose to lash out at me. You went on to brag that you'd already told me to my face that you completely understood and approved of the assault. Well, that's a lie. You got a chance today. You can either continue to lie or you can correct the record. You have never had the courage to look me in the eye and tell me that the assault was justified. So today you'll have your chance. Today I'll give you that chance to clear the record. Tell it to my face. If that's what you believe, tell it to me today. Tell the world why you believe I deserve to be assaulted from behind, have 6 ribs broken and a damaged lung. Tell me to my face why you think I deserved it. And while you're at it, explain to the American public why they should trust a man with anger issues to set the proper example for ICE and Border Patrol agents. Explain to the American public how a man who has no regrets about brawling in a Senate committee can set a proper example for over 250,000 men and women who work at the Department of Homeland Security. Senator Mullen, you are recognized for your opening statement.
I think before I can start my opening statement, I have to address the remarks that the chairman made, calling me a liar. Sir, I think everybody in this room knows that I'm very blunt and direct to the point, and if I have something to say, I'll say it directly to your face. If you recall, back in my House days, we actually did have this conversation because of the remarks that I've made. You were in a room. I simply addressed that I said I could understand because of the behavior you were having, that I could understand why the neighbor did what he did. As far as my terms of the snake in the grass, sir, I work around this room to try to fix problems. I've worked with many people in this room. Seems like you fight Republicans more than you work with us. I did address those remarks. I did explain your gimmicks by the amendment you put forth. And as far as me saying that I invoke violence, I don't. I don't think anybody should be hit by surprise. I don't like that. But if I do have something to say, everybody in this room knows I'll come straight to you. I'll say it publicly and I'll say it privately, but I'll never say it behind your back. So for you to say I'm a liar, sir, that's not accurate. And I got proof to say that because you have spent millions of dollars in my campaigns against me because we just don't get along. However, sir, that doesn't keep me at all from doing my job. I can have different opinions with everybody in this room, but as Secretary of Homeland, I'll be protecting everybody, including Kentucky, as much as I will my own backyard in Oklahoma. It's bigger than the partisan bickering that we have. It's bigger than the political differences we have. The truth is, I have a job to do, and I don't like to fail at anything. And so I will work hard each day. I'll work hard to make the 280,000 employees at DHS with the 22 agencies that's underneath me proud. I'll show them somebody that no one will outwork. I'll work beside them every single day to not just secure a homeland, to bring peace of mind and confidence to the agency. My goal in 6 months is that we're not in the lead story every single day. My goal is for people to understand we're out there, we're protecting them, and we're working with them. My goal is to make every one of you guys proud. My goal for those that don't support me, regret not supporting me. But we have to get DHS funded. We have to. My friends, we have to set the partisan side down. And we have to realize that we're putting our homeland and the peace of mind at risk for the American people. Sometimes it's political theater, sometimes it's true differences. But what we do know is that we're playing with fire. We have 280,000 DHS employees right now that are on day 30 without pay, and they're still showing up every single day to do their job. That is a dedicated group of people. And we should all be proud of them. We should all be working together, and we should all be trying to fund them. So I pray, seriously, I pray that we can get past this. That once this hearing is over and once we go through this process, I get it. I get some of it's got to be political theater. I understand it. I've had to really pray about my attitude. But I will say, once it's over, I hope we can work together and get them funded. So when I walk in, if I'm fortunate enough to be confirmed, if I walk in as secretary, that these guys are ready to go to work day one. So God bless you. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I look forward to your questions.
It's the standard practice of this committee for the chairman to ask nominees the following question. Do you agree without reservation to comply with any request or summons to appear or testify before any duly constituted committee of Congress if you're confirmed?
I do.
We'll now proceed to 7 minutes of questioning. The record should show, and I think will show, a lack of contrition, no apology, and no regrets for your support. You completely understand the violence that was perpetrated on me. You're unrepentant. The only thing you quibble about is whether I met you somehow when you were in the house. I don't think we ever met when you were in the house. And this idea that the only thing you're upset about is not that you were for violence. What you're upset about is that I called you a liar because you said it to my face. So it's really more about this machismo that you have. When in Oklahoma, the media asked you about the refugee welfare programs, the programs you voted to continue funding, it was this whole idea that you were going to transfer it because you were uncomfortable, your anger, low impulse control, causes you to then go after and decide that you're going to go after me as well. And so you say you completely understood that I was assaulted from behind, had 6 ribs broken and part of my lung removed, and that was just fine. That's something that you, I guess, approve of as far as resolution of political problems. When I talked to you privately on the phone, there was no apology. You just said, well, we can let our political difference, go by. And you said a few minutes ago, we can just set it aside. Well, political differences we can, but when you say that you agree with a felon, a Trump-hating felon who attacked me, somehow you think I'm just going to set that aside? Oh, it's no big deal. I lay in pain for 2 months, had 6 ribs broken, 3 of them separated, grinding upon bone for months, had part of my lung removed, and you think that's great and to be extolled. I mean, the sheer lack of any kind of self-awareness that you're going to be leading thousands of men and women who will have the use of force, and there's been great questions in our country about how that will be used, and you think a violent attack is just fine. So I guess my first question is, do you think that justifying that kind of violence sets a good example for the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol?
Mr. Chairman, first of all, I didn't know the extent of your damage. When the phone call was made, I made it to you and I tried to talk to you. You didn't engage at all. In fact, you said, get your paperwork in. It's got to be 3 days in between.
You offered no apology.
Sir?
And you offer no apology today and no regrets. Haven't heard the word apologize, haven't heard the word regret, haven't heard I misspoke and it was heated and I made a mistake. Haven't heard any of those words.
Sir, actually it wasn't heated, and I'm not apologizing for pointing out your character.
Good. So you're jolly well fine, and you want the American public and the people up here to vote, that may or may not vote for you, to know that you supported the felonious, violent attack on me from behind.
I did not say I supported it. I said I understood it. There's a difference.
So that means you really didn't approve of it, just completely understand it. What do you think most people would interpret completely understand to be? Support for or a condemnation of the violence?
Sir, as I said, we can have our differences. It's not going to keep me from doing my job as Secretary of Homeland Security. I'm going to secure Kentucky and take care of Kentucky as much as I am Oklahoma.
If this were a one-off, it would be one thing. If you just disliked me so much that you approved of violence against me, people could just write it off. Well, maybe they hate each other. But really, there's a pattern of this. Let's go ahead and roll the tape.
We can finish it here. Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold it. Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution?
Oh, no, sit down. Sit down. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay, sit down, please.
All right. Can I respond?
Hold it.
If he got up too, would you have gone at it right there in the hearing room?
I would have probably jumped over the dais at that point.
You have to be called out on it. If not, this guy continues to get away with this stuff, and it's just, you know, it's silly, it's stupid, but every now and then you get punched in the face.
Well, go back to the 1800s and 1700s. They used to have canes.
And duels. They used to have duels.
Yeah. Right. And there's a way that men used to settle their differences. I ignored him 4 times prior to that, and people say, yes, you're supposed to ignore it. Well, you know, I'm not a very good Christian. I try to be a good Christian, and I know people say you're supposed to turn the other cheek. I prefer the David method.
But we need to move from an almost...
By the way, I'm not afraid of biting. I will bite.
Fighting?
Oh, I'll bite. Yeah. I'm in a fight. I'm going to bite. I'll do anything. I'm not about it. And I don't care where I bite. It's just
in hindsight, any regrets?
No, I really don't.
So no regrets. In fact, even after your anger had cooled, you were still bragging that if he'd only been brave enough to stand up, you'd have jumped over the dais and taught him a lesson, because that's how men should settle their differences. Do you think fighting as a resolution for political differences is a good example for the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol?
As you can notice over my shoulder here is my good friend Sean O'Brien. Both of us have had conversations, both of us have shaken hands, and both of us agreed we could have done things different. Sean is someone that has become a close friend. We talk all the time. I've been on his podcast. We've talked through this. That's how you handle your differences. Not like this, Chairman.
I'm glad you guys are friends now and that you've reconciled. But really, it doesn't get to the real point whether or not you think violence is the way we settle things. In the days after the fight, you said, and I quote, sometimes people just need to be punched in the face. Is that still your opinion, that political disputes can sometimes and often only be resolved by violence?
No, I don't always agree with that. I don't believe in political violence. I've made that very clear. But sometimes people do need, theoretically speaking, sir, I get it. It's about character assassination for you. That's the way this game is played. I understand it. And you are making this about you, which is fine, but that doesn't keep me as Secretary of Homeland Security.
Character assassination when you were the one lauding the assault. Who do you think started that character assassination? I'm just repeating what you have done in character assassination. I'm repeating your support for the assault. So that's somehow something I started?
No, sir. What I'm saying is you're adding a lot to it.
In the days after the fight, you did many interviews in which you justified the violence as historically justified by precedents, such as caning and dueling. Is it today your opinion that the caning of Charles Sumner was not only justified, but argues still for resolving our political differences with violence?
What I was simply pointing out is some of the rules that still apply to this body. For instance, dueling with 2 consenting adults is still there. I was pointing out what is still
illegal for 170 years. There's no precedent for legal dueling. Even then, they fled the country.
Wow. Okay. Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. That was part of it, and there's more to come. So we will play some of that for you. Now, keep in mind, this was from a committee that actually supports the confirmation of Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. I misspoke earlier and I said Human Services. Obviously, it's Homeland Security, DHS, Department of Homeland Security. So that was the opening comments, the discussion, the opening statements. Obviously, there is some animosity between Senator Rand Paul, who is chairing this committee, and Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, who is trying to be confirmed for the position, likely to be confirmed for the position just because of a sheer majority. Although, in kind of watching that and looking at that, it would be, is it fair to say it would be surprising if Senator Paul voted for the confirmation? So that's one, and there is a fairly slim majority. So we shall see. We will play some more of the confirmation hearing, some of the comments that were made, some of the back and forth. It was not nearly that contentious with everybody, but some of the questions about character, that's the nature of a confirmation hearing. They ask about your background, your history, your decision making, your character, all of that. So we're going to take a quick break and then we will come back. There is more to come. We've got some of our reporters are still out and about. Our Shawnette Wilson's covering a cool story, the community giving back to some young men at Boys Latin. We also have Cam and the trending topics. We're going to check in and find out what's going on with weather, and we will hear more from the confirmation hearing that took place a little bit earlier. But first, let's take a break. It's Philadelphia Live on Fox Local and all streaming platforms. Philadelphia Live on Fox Local into the final hour before we pass the microphone to the Fox 29 News at 10, getting you caught up on all the things that are going on. Still trying to catch up with our Jen Lee so we can see if we can get some more information on that Darby City Council hearing. If not, we of course will hear from Jen in the 10 o'clock news on Fox 29. So one way or the other, you'll either hear it from us before 10 or hear it a little bit later after 10, but you will hear it. We just encourage you to stay with us so we can keep you informed and up to speed. Cam's up next with the trending topics that people are following, seeing what's going on, what we're looking into, and how many people are willing to get on Titanic 2.
In my opinion, it should be 0. I don't know about that Titanic 2.
Yeah, I'm with you.
A follow-up, though, to see if they actually go through with this.
Okay. We will continue to see what happens with it. But there were a couple people, even in my feed, who were like, why not? We're showing a picture, by the way. Okay. One of my long pet peeves has been the movie with the woman sitting there saying, Jack, Jack, I'll never let go. And she's sitting there hogging up an entire 15-foot board that he could have gotten on. So the picture that we're showing is when I visited one of the studios and they actually had the board from Titanic, and I am showing just how big the board is and that easy 2, maybe 4 people could have gotten on that board in the movie, and it would have been a very different ending.
For sure. But
There you
know,
go.
drama, the plot, all the other things, I don't know.
Yeah,
A lot of different factors.
I'm a little cynical.
Not really. But you know what? Looking at the trends, seeing what people are looking at on fox29.com right now, we have a story about an Abington High School principal who has just returned effective today. There was a probe into alleged anti-Semitic social posts that was posted. After this investigation, that principal is now back. So go to fox29.com, and it's one of the first stories that you should see on our website to get more details on that. A lot of people in the community are taking a look at that. They want to know, how the investigation went, and if there are going to be any next steps. And another trending story for us on social media and on the site, we talked about this yesterday, that crossing guard who was attacked in Darby Borough. And of course, we have that council meeting that's going on tonight. But people are just continuing to watch that horrific video of that moment of the crossing guard being attacked on our social media. Of course, you guys you're on our TikTok. There are thousands of you tuning in from TikTok right now, and you guys are on our Fox Local app and our CTV apps, and you're on social media. So I'm sure you guys will, if you have not yet, you will see that, and we have our reporter on that tonight too.
Yeah, we were actually watching, Cam, the hearing in Darby Council on the safety and what have you. Unfortunately, it went off in a lot of different directions, but I'll be interested to hear that update from Jen Lee on what they discovered, and hopefully, as that video continues to go viral, and it's on Fox 29 page, it's on my social media, you shared it, it's a lot of places, and hopefully somebody sees it and can identify the person involved.
That's the most important part. And Jen Lee will have the tea. It'll be informative tea, but we will have that for you guys, I'm sure, later on, and at, of course, the 10 o'clock news.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Cam.
Of course.
You take care. Yeah, that video is up on a lot of different locations. We encourage you to go ahead and check it out. You can see over my shoulder, that is my TikTok social media counter. You can follow me at Bill A. Fox29. We try to keep you updated with all of the different topics. You also can interact and engage. I love hearing your perspective, hearing what you think about a lot of the things that we're doing. As you know, our goal, and we're close, our goal is to be 24 hours a day live with people bringing you all the information. And right now, we're actually pretty much there on Fox Local and all streaming platforms. So we continue to evolve and expand. If there is something going on, we want you to know that you can simply open the Fox Local app or any of our streaming platforms, and we are here. We'll be bringing it to you. We'll have the updates live and in real time. Let's take a quick break, and we will continue on. A lot going on, so stay with us. Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. It's Philadelphia Live on Fox Local, getting you caught up on everything that's going on, from the news to the trending topics, our social media questions of the day, and hearings that have been taking place all day. We are going to get back to the confirmation hearing for Senator Wayne Mullen in just a little bit. But first, our Shawnette Wilson, as she often is out in the community highlighting some of the cool things that people are doing. And Shawnette, today was no different. Another group of people coming together to just do good things in the community.
Something gone awry here.
All right, so it sounds like we may have lost Shawnette's audio real quick as we go ahead and try to pull that together, see if we can get that all worked out. So Shawnette is out working with a community group that was doing some positive things with the students at Boys Latin. They have some events coming up, and so a group of people got together to try to do some things to empower them. It sounds like we've got that all up and running, so let's try again with Shawnette Wilson, who is always out with the community doing positive things.
So Bill, I pulled a little bit of double duty today. I had a little trouble hearing you, so I think you're talking about where we started at the beginning of my day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're talking about?
Let's talk about both, but now we've moved on to another story.
Okay. Do you want to talk about both?
Yeah, I want to talk about both. First, tell us about the event where
Okay.
you went with the haircuts first.
Yes. Okay. We were at Boys Latin today, I think it's Southwest Philadelphia, for Barbers Who Care. They are an organization that services the community. About 20 barbers are a part of this organization, and they get together to offer free haircuts to kids. So they do this routinely. Today they were, like I said, at Boys Latin High School giving haircuts to young men, young boys who are going to be participating in a mother and son dance tomorrow at the middle school. So the principal of the school said that this is for the middle school and high school boys, both, and they have about 90 plus families signed up. So again, this group of barbers came out today and decided that they were going to help them out, talk to them about success. You look good, you feel good, and they wanted them to be in tip-top shape for this event where they're going to have this dance tomorrow with their moms. So in addition to getting free haircuts, though, there was also a group who donated sneakers to the kids. So it was a good afternoon. They showed up at around 2 o'clock, and they were cutting hair, doing shape-ups, line-ups from 3 until about 5:30, 6 o'clock today. So that's one thing, off of the plates of the parents to have to get these kids ready, because of course we know that they are going to dress up tomorrow and look their best for mom, and now they also have a haircut that they did not have to pay for. So shout out to those barbers who say that, they are used to people, of course, paying for their services, and they want to do something to give back. So that's where we started out earlier today, Bill.
That's amazing. That's where we started, and we wanted to give them the quick shout out. But no rest for the weary, because there's more.
Yes, there is more. So now we are in Wynwood in Montgomery County at the Sunoco at 330 East Lancaster Avenue, where a $6 million lottery ticket was sold on Monday. It was from this right here, the match 6 game. And so someone picked all 6 numbers on Monday during the drawing, and they won $6 million. So that is good news. It was all people were talking about here in the store today. And then take a look at this. So they were saying that this must be a lucky place, right? So Monday, there's that $6 million winning ticket, but up here they have posted that a more than $95,000 ticket was sold on August 7th of last year. Martin Ryman, photographer, is going to pan over, and the day after that, on August 8th, a $200,000 winning jackpot ticket was sold. So this is where you got to come and get your tickets, apparently. They say that it doesn't happen, more than once. Well, last year it happened 2 days in a row. They were pretty big jackpots. And again, somebody got lucky. One of the customers said that the clerk told her that the guy who won this ticket always does like the computer-generated numbers, Bill, that he doesn't play his own numbers. So then people in here today were like, I usually pick important dates. Now I'm just going to do like a random play, random pick. Martin Ryman, photographer extraordinaire, did some research and said he found out that it doesn't matter which one you do. The chances are still the same, whether you pick your own numbers or you do random play.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks that they're their lucky numbers and what have you are going to hit. It's so unlikely that you might as well go random. The real thing that everybody watching wants to know is, what's your Venmo so we could shoot you a couple dollars so you could buy us some tickets too.
Oh, so see, you lost me at buy some tickets for y'all. I thought it was like you're going to Venmo me to buy some tickets for me, since I'm out here, you know, pulling double duty today.
So I could buy the tickets for us, because this is like it's a team.
Oh, okay.
effort. No, I got you.
Oh, okay,
We're
Bill.
Share the couple million.
You're good for it. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, I got you. All right, I'm not gonna have you
I don't
announce.
ever play. I don't ever play unless we do like a work pool. So I don't even know what any of this means. I mean, like to this day, when I have to get a ticket for the work pool, I have a problem just getting the ticket into the cart. So like now you want me to do like a match 6 or something? Like I have no idea how any of this works.
So here's what I want you to do. Which, look, the control room is handing me money, like, so we could go ahead and send it to you. Yeah, I'm taking up a collection right here to send you money. So what you do is you find the one that has the highest jackpot. It's Mega Millions, Powerball, whatever. And go ahead and then you buy the tickets and get a couple of them.
Oh, wait. Is this happening tonight? This is happening tonight.
You really don't know anything about this, do you?
Says tonight.
Listen, if Jody Harris, our coworker, does not tell me to get a ticket, I have no idea what is happening here. I'm like, drawing tonight, why aren't we in on this? But I guess we always wait till it's up to a certain amount, right?
You better hurry up. I think that you have to buy them by like 10 o'clock, so you might as well get in on that tonight. And if we don't see you at work tomorrow, we know why.
Okay. Do you want anything else? Well, you know, I also like to pick ones with good names, like Cash Pop. Like, I don't know what that is, but I like the name of it.
Shawnette, you are exactly the kind of person who would win. So you go ahead and follow your instincts.
Yes, sir.
You know, whatever
We've
happens.
got somebody who's coming to get a ticket, I think.
Yeah.
No. Okay. All right. I got us covered tonight.
Make sure we're all in. All right?
Okay.
We got you.
All right.
We appreciate it. I'm giving people their money back. So we're all in on this. Thank you, Shawnette. And we will talk to you later on. She's absolutely the kind of person who would win. You know, the person who doesn't even know how to buy the ticket, the person who doesn't believe in it, and then at some point tomorrow, we're going to see some lady wearing a mask who goes to collect her money and doesn't want anybody to know who she is. And all of us are going to be like, wasn't Shawnette on the schedule to work tonight? What happened to her? All right, we're going to take a quick break. It is 9:15. We come back, going to find out what's going on with weather, as well as several things that are going on. Sports, more from the confirmation hearing that took place earlier. So just stay put. We've got you covered. It's Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. Philadelphia Live on Fox Local. Shout out to all the people who are watching on all of our streaming platforms, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, all around. And go ahead and give me a follow at Bill A. Fox 29. There is the number on Instagram, also up on TikTok and other locations. We have the question of the day that's up on social media. There is a billionaire who has constructed the Titanic 2. They are going to set sail early 2027, and they are asking who would be willing to go. People are putting their deposits down. So the question of the day was, would you go? And so far, most of the people are saying no, but there are still some that are in. We're going to check in on weather, but I will ask Kathy too. The Titanic 2 sets sail in 2027. You on board?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I know how it ended the first time.
I know, right? It makes no sense to me, but somebody decided this was a solid investment.
No, yeah. Where does it leave?
I think it takes whatever the original route was. So I know although I guess it would have to take what the original planned route was, or else it would have to stop somewhere in the middle of the ocean. But I think it comes back to New York.
Okay, so the original route went from, let's see, it started in Ireland, and then it went to England, and then it was supposed to make it to New York.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and I heard what you said about Jack and Rose.
Yeah.
That Jack
she
Rose
was
should have just moved over.
Yeah, she was selfish. Like, the movie didn't have to end that way. It could have been a completely different ending if she just moved over a little bit.
I agree with you, Bill. And you know what?
Sitting here watching a 3-hour movie that could have had a really different ending if you just moved over.
You know what? I think we should have you watch it and critique it. Like,
yeah?
Yeah.
You do that as like a live show?
Yeah, I think that'd be really funny. I'm just sitting here relaxing, watching the show, which has been great this whole 3-hour stretch. And I've been looking at my weather maps, and I'm happy to report that you're not going to be needing the winter coat over the next couple of days. I've been keeping it handy. I still have my snow brush and my shovel in my garage. And I think it's time to remove that, maybe put that in the basement. All the salt that's from your car and it's probably on your garage floor, you can like sweep that out this weekend, because it's actually going to be warm enough to get outside and actually do some chores. And I know you like chores, Bill, so we're going to give you a big honey-do list for this weekend. So take a look outside. We're going to take you to the airport, Philadelphia International. I know they have all those TSA troubles, but the weather, no issue as far as traveling over the next several days. In fact, it's going to be really quiet. It's not going to be windy. 35 degrees right now in the city. Ultimate Doppler is just showing a few snow showers, believe it or not, into central PA and western and central parts of New York. Don't worry about that. That's a weak system and it will not be impacting us. Temperatures in the 30s. It's freezing in Pottstown, 32 in Allentown, and 29 in Vineland. And as we look at the temperatures, even wider, everybody's in the cold. You can see from central New York to New England in the 20s. I mean, temperatures are getting colder, and these overnight lows are well below average. The average low for this time of year is 35 and will be 6 degrees below average in the city. So nothing new here. It's been a very chilly spring so far, if you count it beginning in March like we do meteorologically. See that big dip in the jet stream? That will be leveling off and becoming more horizontal as temperatures warm, and then we get a brief warm up before temperatures cool down again, and that's going to be Monday into Tuesday. So more of this roller coaster ride. As we look at the forecast for your Thursday, we start in the 20s, we end around 50, and that's average for this time of year. But then the numbers begin to go up, and we swing ahead to spring. Of course, the equinox is on Friday, and that means the weather will change too. And just like that, it will. It's going to be warmer on Friday, the best day of the week, with high temperatures around 60 degrees. So that's at least 6 degrees above average. But the sun is going to feel so good on Friday. And Saturday and Sunday look really good as well. Saturday's high 66. That's 12 degrees above average. And then Sunday, sunny and mild with temperatures in the upper 60s. Some spots may make it to 70. And of course, there will be rain moving in, but more likely in the evening and at night. So the rain is very convenient as far as the next couple of days and into the weekend. So these are our rain chances. Friday night, if you're going out, a few showers, not a big deal. And then Sunday, late afternoon or early evening, more like evening, nighttime. Sunday evening and into Monday morning. Saturday appears to be dry at this point. So on the 7-day forecast, we have 50s for Thursday. Spring begins on Friday. It'll be 60s. 60s for Saturday and Sunday. 50s for Monday. 40s again for Tuesday. And Wednesday, the high 52. I'm really loving the 10-day trend because as we look, you can see temperatures rise, then they fall. That's just your kind of pattern for the month of March. It's usually windy, it's usually rainy, and you never know what you're going to get. It's just a lot of up and down, and that's the way it's going to be through the end of the month. But one of the peaks is next Thursday. We have a big P on that. That's the Phil's home opener. The forecast is for 60 degrees. So we're hoping that the trend is our friend and it will stay like that. And Bill, that will be one of the nicest opening days that I can remember. If it's 60 and even partly cloudy, that would be pretty nice.
Yeah, I'll take it. Are you going down there or are you working? Is it a work day? It's a work day. So
I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to go down. I'd really like to go down. I haven't been to an opening day.
From down there. Like, do your weather reports from down there. You go on the road and do the live updates.
Sure, absolutely.
I think we should do it. We know some people. Let's pull some strings.
Yeah.
We'll make that happen.
Do you have any other questions for the Weather Center tonight?
No. I mean, I was a little upset that I have to take my snowblower that I got over the holiday season into the basement now. I don't enjoy the snow, but I enjoyed playing with that thing. So now that just goes into storage until this time next year.
Is that going to go in the basement? Is that where you're going to keep it?
I guess.
How are you going to get it down there?
It's not that big. So the cool part about it is it's just a sidewalk size. It's a battery powered one. So it's not one of those big gas and everything else.
Yeah.
Like I can lift it up. Like I keep it on the front porch now and I have to lift it to the door.
So it's not as dramatic as those old clunky snowblowers.
It's got like,
you're
20
like
minutes,
a cool one.
20 minutes of battery power is just enough for me to go ahead and handle my little bit of property.
Okay. All right. Yeah, put it away. You're done. We're done.
All right, cool. I've been asking you for a while. Are we done? You finally have said we are done.
Yeah, we're done.
I like it. Thank you, Kathy Orr.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. So the SAVE Act continues to be debated. It's been going on, excuse me, and who knows how long it will continue on. So the SAVE Act is President Trump's top priority. His words said that he is unlikely to sign any other legislation unless this gets passed. It's called by some voter ID. It would require specific identification to prove citizenship in order to register. You'd have to register in person. There's a lot of different restrictions in it. And they continue to debate it because it does not appear right now that there are enough votes to pass and overcome the filibuster. So this marathon debate session started last night with several people kind of going in cycles, trying to get their point across. Senator Mike Lee from Utah is one of those people who has spoken on this multiple times. He is back on the floor of Senate presenting his perspective on why the SAVE Act needs to pass.
American who has ever worked as an employee has filled out an I-9. You cannot get a job and begin new employment as an employee without filling out the I-9. And when you fill out the I-9 is very, very prescriptive. It's very strict. There are a few ways you can establish citizenship. One is through a U.S. passport, establishing the fact of your citizenship. Another is if you don't have a U.S. passport, as many people don't, you can supply a birth certificate. And with the birth certificate, a form of government-issued photo ID. In some instances, a Social Security card gets factored in, but it's very rigid, it's very prescriptive. And it's very, very important for us to remember that this is far easier than anything in connection with the I-9 form. So if you've ever had a job, you've already had to prove your citizenship, if you are an American citizen, before starting that job. And you've had to do so under a set of standards far more exacting, far less forgiving, far less permissive than what we're dealing with right here. So this whole argument about 21 million people being disenfranchised, let alone, even one person being disenfranchised, it is a lie. You have to willfully, consciously disregard and lie about the existence of the text beginning on page 12, line 22 of this bill. Another argument that gets raised is that voting, the right to vote, is constitutionally protected as a right, and it should not be restricted by requiring documentation. Now, this is an interesting argument. There are lots of constitutional protections that we have. Yes, we have multiple constitutional protections that deal in one way or another with the right to vote. Voting is important. The Constitution not only protects that, but it's built around your right to vote. That doesn't mean, it can't mean, has never meant, and will never mean that the government can't take steps to make sure that people are voting lawfully and that they're entitled to vote. To suggest otherwise would make a mockery of all elections. The fact is that we've done everything we can to make this bill comply with our mantra. Let's make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. There are some in this body who are perfectly content with forgetting the second half of that equation altogether. Saying anything that makes it anything other than easy to vote must be unconstitutional because it's a constitutionally protected right. It's hard to identify a single constitutional right that is not without some limitation dealing with, among other things, curtailing the risk of fraud, of manipulating a right to harm or injure others. There are plenty of other constitutionally protected rights where you've got to comply with steps in order to exercise them. The Second Amendment, for example, protects your right to bear arms, and yet if you want to buy a firearm from any federally licensed firearms dealer, you got to fill out a fairly onerous set of forms. You got to prove who you are. You've got to establish, under penalty of perjury, that you are entitled to own a gun, that you don't fall into any of the prohibited categories under 18 U.S.C. Section 922G, either as a convicted felon, as somebody who has been declared by a court of competent jurisdiction to be mentally insane, as an alien illegally or unlawfully inside the United States, or any of the other categories of prohibited persons under 18 U.S.C. Section 922G. You have to submit this information with government-issued photo ID, then you've got to wait sometimes minutes, sometimes hours, in order for a background check to be completed. Is this a burden on your Second Amendment right to bear arms? Yes, but that doesn't make it unconstitutional. Just like whatever incremental burden that you face in establishing that you are who you say you are and that you're entitled to vote in federal elections doesn't undo your constitutional right to vote. And it doesn't make this unconstitutional that we're just making sure that we don't make a mockery of our own elections. So the fact that something is a constitutionally protected right doesn't mean that you have a right to do it in a completely uninhibited manner. I don't know anyone who believes that. I don't think I've ever heard anyone make that argument here in this chamber, at least not seriously. And in fact, making it easy to cheat directly undermines the very same right that these people purport to be espousing, because it undermines the right of law-abiding Americans to cast their vote and to not have their vote diluted, offset, rendered meaningless by non-citizen voting. We just want to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. We can and we must accomplish both. We can't skip over either one. Another argument is that the Save America Act somehow violates what they refer to as states' rights. This is a term I hate. It's a misnomer. States don't have rights, states have authority. Authority is the opposite of a right. A right is a privilege against authority, whether by a state, by the federal sovereign, or otherwise. So states don't have rights. I don't like it. It conjures George Wallace images, and it's a complete misnomer. So let's refer to that as federalism, state sovereign authority, the relationship between the states and the federal government, whatever you want. Don't call it states' rights, but a lot of people are calling it that. And the people calling it that this week are the people opposed to this bill for completely ridiculous reasons that overlook the purpose.
And this will continue. We have been told that they will continue to debate this until they decide to go ahead and have a vote. By all accounts, they are hoping that they can change some minds. By all accounts, on both sides of the aisle, it does not appear that there are enough votes to pass the SAVE Act, but you never know. There is a simple majority that could pass it, but because of the filibuster rule, you then would need 60 votes. They do not have close to 60 votes yet. But that is part of the discussion and the reason that this continues on, and we will keep you posted. Next up, sports, as we continue to get caught up with everything that is going on. So Marcus, there actually are some games that were being played. Is that my jersey?
No, this is mine.
Wait.
Go ahead, as you were saying, Bill.
Wait, and number 87 is?
That's actually the year that some of my favorite movies have come out. Predator, Lethal Weapon, The Jaws, The Revenge. So this one was customized. I can't turn around to show you that my name is on it because of the cords, but no, this is mine.
You took my jersey, man?
No, I didn't. I thought we were talking about sports, Bill. I don't know what these accusations are, why they're necessary, but no, this is my jersey.
All right, so we will ignore the blatant thievery that is taking place here now that we have
I will not allow
video
you to
evidence
of
what's taking place.
Crude crimes, Bill.
The video evidence of what is going on here.
I have the receipt in the sports department.
He said he has the receipt here.
Yes.
So what we're gonna see. So I can come behind you and see the name on the back of the jersey. I'm gonna go back to work because I'm a professional.
How dare you? How dare you?
I'm gonna go back to work because I'm a trained professional as we sit here and talk sports.
This has got to bother you so badly to where you had to go out of your way
Listen,
to do this.
I respect the fact that you appreciate my love for the Flyers so much that you would like to wear the jersey and express your love for the team as well.
I mean, it's game day. They play in about 20 minutes, Bill.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're playing the Ducks.
I did not know that.
See, because you're not a true Flyers fan like I am, which is why this is my jersey.
If that's the argument, then you should keep it because you're not wrong. So the NCAA, the early games
yes, sir,
kicked off. And Lehigh's playing now, or is that game over?
Lehigh actually finished up about a half hour ago. Unfortunately, the Mountain Hawks did lose to Prairie View A&M, so their season is over. But still, shout out to Lehigh. I mean, winners of the Patriot League Conference. But yeah, unfortunately, their season has come to an end tonight. Right now, Miami, Ohio, who was undefeated for most of the season, is currently up against SMU. That's the last of the first 4 games of the NCAA tournament.
All right, tell me what you know about the Eagles deciding to sign Andy Dalton.
Well, first off, it's still reported, and it was a trade with the Carolina Panthers for next year's 7th-round pick. Long story short, it's just another role for the Eagles to fill. Tanner McKee, it looks like he's going to be high on the trade block for the Eagles, in which they would be able to get a lot of stock for because of the skills that he's shown. I know the last couple games weren't the greatest, but he has shown that when he learns a system, he can be effective. And so I think Howie is kind of seeing the writing on the wall and kind of just like trying to plan a couple steps ahead to where he goes and gets Andy Dalton, a guy who's been in the league for been a minute, I would say. He's been backup roles. He was the starter for the Bengals. Recently, he was a backup under Bryce Young, and he even played some games as well. So I think he'll be a good backup. He's got that veteran leadership that I'm sure can be useful to Jalen as well. So, I mean, I mentioned it yesterday how they're just filling in roles, and I think this is just one of Howie's latest moves.
Younger years, he actually went to the Pro Bowl a couple of times. He was pretty good.
I mean, he was pretty good. Him and AJ Green were a dynamic duo over in Cincinnati. So he was pretty good. He still is, obviously, still being in the league.
It was many years ago. And then finally, Bryce Harper hits a big home run. Everyone's like, okay, he's back on track. They still managed to lose the game. But what does that home run mean?
I think it's a good confidence boost for him. I mean, he's been getting a lot of criticism over the offseason. We all know about the whole not elite story. And then, I mean, he wasn't doing much. He wasn't being very productive during the World Baseball Classic. So I'm sure that caused a lot of not just criticism on the outside, but criticism inside, maybe getting in his own head. So, I mean, to come up with not just a home run, but such a clutch home run late in the championship game last night had to do wonders for his confidence. And I think that I don't know if that'll roll over into the season. I think it'll just kind of just put him at ease and whatnot. The Phillies still have a few more games before opening day. We're about 8 days away from opening day, so he still has some things to tweak along with everybody else. But I mean, that home run I think was just a good kind of just way to set him at ease.
We'll take it. Marcus, appreciate you. Thank you very much. Love the jersey, and we will talk to you again.
All mine. You got it, buddy.
Take care. Appreciate it. Marcus Beasley in sports giving us an update on everything that's going on. Okay, let's get right to Jen Lee. So earlier we were watching the city council hearing out in Darby. It was supposed to be about safety and some of the concerns relating to the crossing guard, who was assaulted. And then a bunch of things went on. So we asked Jen to jump back on quickly before she goes live on the 10 o'clock news and kind of give us a take. Jen, it was a lot.
It was a lot. And now our photojournalist, Starling Underwood, he's putting our piece together for 10 o'clock. So you can definitely stand by to hear that shouting match that you just described, Bill. And I know you guys were tuning in and out during Live Now here. So it was shouting throughout, I would say, starting from the mayor's report, because much of the in-house arguing at Darby Borough Council was between Mayor Jordan and Council President Lucille Pratt. It got so uncomfortable, the council president and other people began walking out, and there was a resident who said she has lived here for 30 years. Her parents have lived near where that assault of the crossing guard occurred for 40 years, she said. And she said she has 2 toddlers at home. She got a babysitter because she wanted to know what is happening in her community and attended this meeting tonight. And she stormed out along with other people because they were just so upset by the lack of civility, the lack of decorum during this borough meeting here tonight. But it was certainly a lot. It was fiery, the arguing, and it wasn't just one moment. I would say for the second half of that meeting, it was a lot of shouting. But we also did get some updates regarding the investigation into the assault of that crossing guard on Monday. Bill, you had mentioned that you shared video that police had shared with the community about the actual assault. And obviously a lot of our viewers have seen it on Fox 29 as well. But they said that police have been working nonstop. They've been canvassing that area, 6th and Walnut Streets, where the actual attack occurred. And they have made some leads, and they're following up on those leads as well. So we learned that the person who punched this crossing guard that we saw on video, his vehicle has been identified. And while the chief couldn't say much in detail tonight, he said they're hoping to put out more information tomorrow, regarding the person responsible, perhaps that vehicle identification, and really just to get more of the word out to hopefully bring this person into custody, be responsible for his actions here. And I also did see that a Pennsylvania senator has also put out a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of this man. So a lot of support for this crossing guard continues. A lot of people say that they have seen her for, many days, protecting their children who are getting off the bus, trying to cross the street. It's something that's of big concern and also a lot of interest, but a lot of people were very disappointed by the shouting match that they also witnessed at Darby Borough Council meeting tonight.
More to come. Jen, we appreciate you jumping back on with us. I know that you're working on your story for the 10, so we're going to let you go. But we just kind of wanted some clarity about what was taking place. So thank you. I know that you're trying to pull that together and stop to get us that update. So we appreciate you. And that is our Jen Lee. Just because it got so fiery and it was tough to figure out everything that was going on, and Jen was there. I encourage you to stay put because you will hear more about what happened, her story on the Fox 29 News at 10 o'clock when we wrap up here on Fox Local and Fox 29. Let's take a break. When we come back, there was another hearing today, an intelligence briefing that also got interesting. It was informative, it was fiery, and we will come back to that in just a moment, so stay tuned. earlier today, there was a hearing with the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Part of it was surrounding Iran and some of the statements made about Iran, some of the decisions that have made. But another part of it was that there was a top official who resigned over the Iran war involved in her department. And so this hearing, there were a lot of questions about a lot of various topics relating to national security and national intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard was answering those questions, and let's listen to how it went.
Director Gabbard, the whole country knows that you were recently involved in an FBI operation to seize ballots in Fulton County, Georgia. Yet this was despite the fact that the warrant showed no foreign interference or nexus. Matter of fact, the warrant was based entirely on conspiracy theories that have already been examined and rejected repeatedly. Now, where is the authority for you to involve yourself in a domestic law enforcement activity?
Thank you, Vice Chairman. I appreciate the question. As you know, I've addressed every issue you've raised in detail in a letter, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to do it in this forum. As you stated, Congress provided by statute, ODNI, with the responsibility of election security and counterintelligence in 2021. As you also know, ODNI has purview and oversight.
I know the history very well, but could you just
I am addressing the question. ODNI also has purview and overview over two domestic related agencies, the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI, both of which have purview over election security responsibilities to ensure the integrity of our elections. I want to correct one of your statements that you've made multiple times, which is false. I did not participate in a law enforcement activity, nor would I, because that does not exist within my authorities.
You were present on the scene. Are the photos of you on the scene false?
I was at Fulton County, sir, at the request of the president, and to work with the FBI to observe this action that had long been awaited. I was not aware of what was in the warrant or was not in the warrant.
And what was the president's specific request for you to go to? What was the specific request that was made by the president for you to show up in Fulton County?
To go and observe the FBI's activities on this issue.
So why?
When you look at the your question, sir.
Do you have the answer why the president was knowing about this affidavit before it was even served?
I'm not aware that the president knew about an affidavit before it was served.
Then why was he sending you to Fulton County?
This occurred the day that the FBI had it approved, their warrant approved by a local judge, and they began to execute this. To address your question, sir, about the foreign nexus question, in order for us to better understand the vulnerabilities in our election systems that may exist today as we look to 2026, and yes, we are very focused on trying to make sure that this election is one that the American people have faith.
Director Gabbard, I've got a number of questions. Director Gabbard, I have a number of questions. Let me ask my next question, please. You have not provided any of the required reports or briefings to this committee on foreign interference. This is the first threat assessment since 2017 that didn't even mention foreign interference. Last year, when you were already confirmed, it mentioned it at high level. Are you saying there is no foreign threat to our elections in the midterms this year?
As I stated in the outset of my remarks, this year's annual threat assessment matches the prioritization of threats and
Please answer the question, yes or no. Is there foreign threat interference to our elections this year?
Laid out.
Are there foreign?
Please allow me to answer the question, sir. The intelligence community has been and continues to remain focused on any collection and intelligence products that show a potential foreign threat for those who are seeking
so far there has been none then, because you've made no reports.
System.
Excuse me, ma'am. If you want to ask the questions, you should have stayed in Congress. Please answer the question.
I didn't ask you a question, sir. I'm trying to answer your questions.
So you're saying the failure to provide any reports or the failure to have any mention of a foreign threat assessment, I would draw the conclusion there must be no foreign threat to our elections in 26. So that brings me a question that I have for both you, ma'am, and Director Patel. There are reports that in 2020, the president was preparing an executive order to potentially seize ballots or bring in federal forces. There is a published report that there is a similar EO being drafted right now about 2026, citing China. Director Patel, do you have any knowledge of that draft EO?
Thank you, Vice Chairman. I do not, sir.
Director Gabbard, do you have any?
I do not.
Thank you. Let me move to Iran. Now, I understand, and I appreciated Director Gabbard, your comments yesterday about agreeing that the president has sole authority, I guess, in his bones to declare whether something is an imminent threat. I didn't agree with your friend, Mr. Kent, but I didn't, again, I agreed with him yesterday on the fact that there was no imminent threat. I guess what I'm concerned about, one thing is, even in your printed testimony today on page 6, and your last paragraph on page 6, as a result of Operation Midnight Hammer, Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated. There's been no efforts to try to rebuild their enrichment capability. You omitted that paragraph from your oral opening. Was that because the president had said there was an imminent threat 2 weeks?
No, sir, I recognize that the time was running long, and I skipped through some of the
So
portions
you chose to take
my oral delivered remarks.
You chose to omit the parts that contradict the president. The president continues to say as well that he had no idea, was shocked that the Iranians had moved to take over the Strait of Hormuz. Did you provide any intelligence that would say that it would be that it was not likely that the Iranians would try to move on the strait?
I'm not aware of those remarks, and I think those of us here at the table can point to the fact that historically the Iranians have always threatened to leverage their control over
Why would
the
the
Strait
president
of
say he was
Hormuz.
amazed?
I'm not aware of those remarks.
What about the comments the president made that thought that he was surprised again, reports that Iran struck the adjacent Gulf states?
Again, I'm not aware of those remarks. We have
Well,
been
let me
and
ask you this.
continue to
Did
provide
you brief the president? Did you brief the president? Did you brief the president if he starts a war of choice that the likely result would be that Iran would strike adjacent Gulf nations and close the Strait of Hormuz? Did you brief him on those two facts that I think have been consistently the assumptions of the intelligence community?
I have not and won't divulge internal conversations. I will say that those of us within the intelligence community continue to provide the president with all of the best objective intelligence available to inform his decisions.
Senator Collins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Gabbard, you just testified that ISIS and al-Qaeda are significantly weaker. And reflecting that view, you have devoted declining budgets, personnel, and emphasis on countering terrorism. Yet, the fact is that ISIS is growing and operating in Somalia, Afghanistan, Syria, Pakistan, and Iraq. Al-Qaeda is surging in Afghanistan, the Arabian Peninsula, and throughout Central Africa. The Houthis in Yemen and the rest of the Iranian proxies remain a serious threat. Focusing, as you have done, on great power competitors seems to have diverted resources from the fight against terrorism, a fight that's very much still going on. As I have said repeatedly, it is terrorists who want and can kill Americans today. We've just seen the terrorists in Michigan attacking the synagogue. In addition, it appears that a more stovepiped effort in the Intelligence Committee has returned. How are you ensuring that Americans are safe and that you are countering counterterrorism threats to our homeland and to U.S. citizens abroad?
Thank you, Senator Collins, for your question and the opportunity to clarify the comments in my opening statement. My reference to the size of ISIS and al-Qaeda organizationally is smaller and weaker than it was during its peak over a decade ago. However, I completely concur with your remarks about the threat of ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and other Islamist terrorist groups around the world, and the threat that they pose to U.S. interests, service members, and directly to the homeland. Our ODNI National Counterterrorism Center has been at the forefront of ramping up, and I believe is more active today than it has been certainly in a long time. We are dedicating every resource that they ask for, as well as the counterterrorism elements across the IC, to make sure that we are never taking our eye off of this persistent threat to the American people. The change in tactics based on the current environment is something we continue to be most concerned about. Where increasingly we are seeing less indicators of large-scale organized complex threats or attacks, and instead efforts focused on individuals either who have been radicalized by Islamist propaganda and may not have ever had contact with ISIS or Al-Qaeda, for example, and others who have had contact, of which we are able to have more indications of. This remains and will be, and as we come to present our budgets to you, a foremost and primary priority. The integration across the intelligence community on the counterterrorism threat occurs every single day, with our teams working very effectively together to thwart terrorist attacks as we have over the last year.
Director Patel, I'm going to follow up on this issue with you. ISIS targets potential recruits online through social media, gaming platforms, encrypted messaging apps. ISIS even facilitated a network online to smuggle illegal immigrants into the United States. Since April 2021, there have been more than 52 jihadist-inspired cases across 30 states. What measures is the FBI taking to prevent foreign terrorist organizations from recruiting or influencing Americans, while also ensuring the protection of individuals' right to privacy?
Thank you, Senator, and I think you said it best. They have transferred their capabilities in terms of personal recruitments to online recruitments, which makes any terrorist organization, including ISIS, all the more powerful. What we have done is extended and expanded resources to environments like the Threat Screening Center, which allows us to collect biometric capabilities from all over the world. We've had a double-digit increase in that and a double-digit increase in intelligence production. But what we've also done in the CT space specifically is expand the number of agents and intel analysts that go online and detect, based on our biometric capabilities and intelligence that we have from the interagency. And what that leads us to is what we saw in December of last year, Senator, where we at the FBI stopped 4 terrorist attacks, 4 in California, Texas, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, 3 of which were ISIS-inspired. We were able to detect these individuals both online and in person using our covert platforms, and we shuttered a bombing campaign in Southern California and 2 mass casualty events for New Year's Eve.
Director Gabbard, the intelligence community did not detect an extremely serious breach affecting our telecommunications industry due to the Chinese Salt Typhoon incursions for a very long time. In addition, the Chinese Volt Typhoon threat poses a terrible threat to U.S. critical infrastructure. Specific sectors throughout the United States have been overlooked and underprotected. What are you doing to deal with the threat to critical infrastructure, our electric grid, our community?
And we're going to have to leave it there, guys, as we have headed into the home stretch. That's a wrap for us, but stay put. All this information, the stories that we've talked about, will continue on the Fox 29 News app that starts just about now. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.